Hello and welcome back to Tucson, Arizona. I'm Randy,
I'm Daniel.
Rhodes.
and haven't done a video in
About a week.
several days. It's been crazy, but come on, go away. Accept. So, I found an article. I haven't read it yet, but I'm about to, and I want to see the 10 scariest horror movies of the 2020s.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting.
All right. So, what would you say the scariest movie this year you've seen? Because it says 2020s, so it's not this year, but it's the last four.
This year that I've seen?
Or even the last 4
Okay.
years.
Okay.
Accidentally kicked a water bottle.
So, what is the scariest movie you've seen in the last 4 years? Or a couple. It doesn't even have to be the scariest, but just rattle.
Yeah, just a couple.
Just kick some out. Spitball.
Terrifier 2 is really up there.
Okay.
Smile.
Smile was really good. That came out within the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I recently just saw one. I forgot what it was
I'm
called.
trying to think of the names of them.
I just watched one too. I just finished watching one.
What was it?
It was on Hulu.
You just watched it. How do you
I know,
forget this?
It was like a day ago. So
Yeah, and that's my point. How did you forget this? If it's a day ago.
Short-term memory loss.
You don't have short-term memory loss unless you're doing drugs, and if you're doing drugs, I'm going to hurt you physically
Nope, I don't
and
do
emotionally.
drugs. I don't do drugs no more. That was a long time ago.
Scariest movie.
Oh, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. That was another one.
Okay.
So I might continue watching. That's what I know.
Ooh, something that I rewatched like a couple days ago because you and I had talked about it a little bit was the Hellraiser film. Because when he brought it up, we talked about the new one.
The remake.
Him thinking that the new one was the original.
Mhm.
I rewatched it the other day. It is pretty scary.
Okay.
It is pretty scary.
Okay. I still have no interest, but I've heard good things. Like, I know it's good as far as, like, people are concerned.
Okay.
I'm just not most people.
I gotta admit, A Quiet Place. It wasn't scary, but
It was tense.
It was
It was
tense.
tense.
It was
because,
tense.
like,
It was very well done.
It was like the crowd of people just walking through the city. I was really curious. I was like,
Oh, are you talking about day one?
day one? But I was looking at that scene. I was like, there's no way some
Ooh.
person's gonna make a noise and the creatures are gonna start jumping.
Day
at
one
you.
was good. I like it, I think, more than you did. The first one is still my favorite.
Agreed.
I've been hearing a lot about people saying that the second one was not necessary.
What?
No movie is necessary. Like let's get that.
Second one was
Let's get that
awesome.
out front, like Front Street. No film is
Yeah, that's
necessary.
very true.
Like documentaries aren't
Like,
necessary.
what about Godfather?
Yeah, so, fuck Godfather. Like I
like-
watched them all. They're boring. Like, are they masterpieces of film? Sure, fine, whatever. Like if you're like studying film.
Yeah,
If you're watching a movie,
they're very boring.
they are long as hell. Now, there's some amazing scenes.
Yeah.
And there are some good storyline.
yeah,
Fuck
they're
those
very,
movies.
They're very boring.
Like,
Evil Dead Rises is the one I just watched. I liked it.
and you forgot that? It's supposed to be, the Evil Dead series was supposed to be like the most terrifying films of the generation.
I like that one though. I gotta admit.
I got one.
I love the original ones. Go ahead.
Grim Cuddy.
Huh?
Grim Cuddy.
Okay.
A monster flick.
Okay. So these are, so now
Scared the shit out of me.
now you've each listed some. Is that from 2020 or newer?
2022.
Okay.
Mine was all above.
Okay.
And don't forget about Cuckoo, the new movie.
I
that
haven't
just
seen it.
released.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I
it's
want
really
to.
good.
I'm gonna watch it at some point, probably this week.
It's really good. I gotta admit.
So here's this list: top 10 scariest horror movies of the 2020s.
Okay. Was that disappointment
Oddity.
already?
Well, I did see something earlier, which is why I kicked this off.
Okay.
So Oddity 2024. I have not seen Oddity. I
haven't
think I've
seen
seen one
Oddity
trailer for Oddity, and I know that Leach talked about it,
Okay.
and I think he enjoyed it.
Okay.
I just don't remember anything about it.
I haven't even heard of it.
I haven't heard of.
It's not just that Oddity is scary; it's how many different ways that the film finds to terrify you. That's
gotta
most
watch it.
impressive. The tension begins with a knock at the door. A young woman awaiting her husband's return is greeted by a strange man who has come to warn her that she is not alone. He's a patient of her husband's, he says, and while he may have been stalking her, he now only has her safety in mind. Is there danger lurking behind her, or is the man the danger?
Ooh.
You don't immediately find out. The film cuts forward in time, months after the woman's death, introducing you to her sister, who runs a shop that sells supernatural oddities, herself determined to figure out what happened. It's a ghost story, a murder mystery, and a monster movie all in one, with the dueling tones leaving you unsure where it may go next from beginning to end. That sounds good.
A ghost story, a monster movie, and
And a murder
and
mystery.
a murder mystery all in one.
Dude, that sounds good.
I'm not mad at it.
Like, that whole premise sounds fun to me.
Yeah.
Like, I love the mystery aspect.
Okay.
Like, I'm down with that.
I like this opening scene.
But why would it be like a killing vibe, but also have a monster type vibe, unless it's like a
don't
ghost
know.
possession?
I don't know, but I'm
Yeah,
in.
I'm not sure.
I'm in.
Yeah.
But I like the murder mystery
I'd
part.
watch it. Oddity.
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
might have to check that out this weekend.
Put it on the list.
All right.
On the list.
On the checklist.
Is this disappointment?
I think it is.
Seems like it is.
Yeah. What's number 9?
Longlegs 2024.
No. No.
Early on, Longlegs
I actually
feels
just watched
like
it.
Longlegs feels like it will coast along as a riff on Silence of the Lambs. In it, a young detective pursues a serial killer in a case that slowly starts consuming her life. But while it starts more eerie than scary, Nick Cage's unforgettable turn as the titular killer brings the film to another level, delivering goosebumps in by the truckload and adding an unexpected supernatural element as well. The film's outsized success has cemented Osgood Perkins, son of the late Psycho star Anthony Perkins, as one of the genre's new pillars, and his next film, The Monkey, is already one of the next year's most anticipated. Fuck Longlegs.
Way too many words.
And fuck everyone who likes it.
Yeah.
I feel about Longlegs the same way I feel about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Fuck both of them.
Yeah. Long legs is not
A waste
good.
of time.
It was
Not
it
good.
was so funny how McDonald's called Kamala out about not working at McDonald's.
Yes, because she never did. You fucking liar. Yeah, Trump 2024, baby. I'm on the Trump train. I meant to bring in one of my Trump signs too. I keep forgetting to. I got a house full of them and a yard full of them.
Do you want me to go bring one?
In a minute, dude. The
Alright.
fact that someone wrote this in one of the best of the 2020s.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, who's getting paid for this?
What-
Who is shilling
Yeah.
for a god awful
This
film?
this makes me already not really trust this list.
That's
Having
true.
long
Except I
legs.
have heard Oddity was good
Yeah.
from someone else whose
I'm gonna check out Oddity real quick.
opinion of things that I've seen I've agreed with mostly.
Okay.
Like, I know we disagree on like Scream films and some things, but you're allowed to as
Are you
a
talking about
human
Cody Leach?
being. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I know I put, but that's different people. Different people have
Yeah.
different tastes. We have different
Yeah.
lifestyles.
Yeah.
Like, and you're allowed to, believe it or not, even in politics, you're allowed to have differences. But don't be a dick about it.
Oh, that
Long
old
legs
man.
sucks, and I will go to my grave saying that,
Yeah.
and I will tell everyone who will ever listen to me to not waste your time on that god awful film.
Yeah, it was rough.
Smile was good.
It was.
It was not scary, but it was tense,
Mhm.
and there were a few moments that were creepy as shit
Mm.
that will kind of, that
Yeah.
was unnerving,
kinda
Skin
jump
crawly.
you.
like very unnerving.
Yeah.
But the sad part is the whole scene that I saw in trailers for that film that made me want to watch Smile in the first place is one of the only times something that creepy happens in the whole movie, and it's when her sister walks back out to the car, and then just like her head swivels down
Oh,
all
yeah.
crazy. I was like, "Whoa, this movie's gonna be nuts!"
Yeah.
And then there was like 2 scenes like that,
Yeah.
and then the rest of it was just kind of like the ending was hard.
Mhm.
Like the movie kind of goes hard, but it was good. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Oh,
myself
hell
watching
I'm
no.
it.
looking forward to the second one.
Yeah. And the second one's supposed to be more ramped up,
Mhm.
so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed Smile. I don't think it was like anything amazing.
Yeah.
But where the creepy happened, the creepy was done very well.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just kind of a tense thriller kind of film. It's not really. I would almost hesitate to call it a scary movie.
Okay.
Like, it's more of like a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Like, that's just me. I'm not saying I'm right.
That's
It just,
creepy.
it wasn't. There wasn't enough scare going on.
Mhm.
Like, I think It Follows had a few more tense moments than Smile did.
Yeah.
And I only say that because I just watched them. Like, they're not in the same 2020s, but I mean, we just watched It Follows. So I think It Follows had more dramatic beats to it.
Okay.
And I think it was more tense more often
Mm-hmm.
than Smile was.
You
Now,
know-
Smile 2, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. It might be fucking game changing, but.
Oddity's trailer was really interesting.
Well, apparently Longlegs trailer was really good, according to this fellow.
I like
Well,
the trailer.
And
Oddity.
I watched it after I watched the film, and the
The-
film fucking sucks.
Yeah, the trailer sells a completely different
Right.
film.
I'll watch it later.
Okay, because like there was like this human person just sitting at the table like this, and then there was a girl sitting across the table, and they did some weird things. She moved her hands apart, and the human-made doll also moved apart, but its mouth is all open. The eyes were completely gorged out, and there was 3 holes in the back of its head right there. And then the girl just stuck a needle in there, pulled out black goo.
Interesting.
But the trailer was really
Already
interesting.
sounds better than Longlegs.
But that was just one of them.
And I confirmed this after watching Longlegs. Or I rewatched the trailer with you,
Mm-hmm.
and it sells a completely different film.
It really does.
It sells a completely
It
different
really
film.
does. Well, how about the fact that
It took all of the scenes that had any sort of edge and like
And put 'em
creativity
together.
to them and put them together.
and then the rest of it is trash.
yeah.
So a young detective pursues a serial killer in a case that slowly starts consuming her life. It barely lasts long enough to. You can't even say that.
No.
Like, she's a part of it,
Yeah.
and as time goes on, she's like. But it's not until the end, like, and I mean like the end of the damn movie, last 10 minutes, that you find out she has any ties to this dude.
Mm-hmm.
As they're doing the big dump of information at the end of the film, like.
This trailer already
The
looks
exposition dump
false.
is so over the top in that
Yeah.
freaking movie.
Oh,
it's
for sure.
dude. It's nuts.
Yeah.
That movie sucks so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Watching the trailer right
I stick
now.
by my initial review when we first finished it, and I just gave you
Just two thumbs down. I was just racked with disappointment.
Yeah, I know
and the
you
thing
were.
that pisses me off the most is you fuckers got my money.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it doesn't even like the
If
trailer.
one
don't get me
person-
you
wrong.
win some and you lose some.
if Cody Leach would have been like, "Don't watch this film,"
yeah.
I'd have been like, "Well, that kind of sucks, missing out on a Nick Cage film." But
Yeah.
okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah.
He never said, "Don't
He
watch
just
this
said
movie."
it's a movie.
Dude, it's not even that.
Yeah.
It is a shit show.
Yeah.
I hate that. The movie makes me angry.
Mm.
So, moving on. Barbarian, 2022.
Okay.
Horror comedies have been around since the early days of film, but in almost every case, the moment humor is introduced, the horror dissipates entirely. That's kind of pseudo-true.
Kind of.
Barbarian, the directorial debut of former sketch comedian Zach Kreger, somehow manages both. Intriguing.
Okay.
It begins with 2 strangers forced to share an Airbnb, and just when their night couldn't get any worse, the film cuts to actor Justin Long singing like a fool, and a new thread begins.
I like
Fiendishly
Justin Long.
clever in twists and turns to both plot and tone, this is a singular film that lingers long after it ends. I like Justin Long.
I do too. Dodgeball, baby.
See, that's the only thing that comes to mind when I think of
Really?
Justin Long. Yeah.
I think Dodgeball.
Like, he's done such better film than that.
He has, but his character in it was hilarious.
Nah, dude, Accepted always comes to
Accepted
mind for
was
me.
great. Yeah.
That is always the
Yeah.
thing that comes for me. Interesting. I think I've heard a little bit about this.
I didn't even know that there was
Seems
another one.
intriguing.
It sounds like there was one before it because it said Barbarian 2022, right?
Oh, it's just giving me the years of when they
Oh,
came
okay,
out.
okay,
like,
okay.
Oddity just came out.
Yeah.
July 19th.
yeah, that's why I said 2024. Right there. Bam. I didn't say the date, but 2024. Long legs. And then Barbarian 2022. And come on, work with me. Host 2020. This immediately doesn't sound interesting to me. When global lockdowns began during the pandemic in 2020, people worldwide pledged that they would use their time to create their masterpiece. Director Rob Savage may have been the first person to achieve that goal. If you're on this list, it's probably not true. Host, his screen life film documenting a video call among friends who decide to hold a virtual ceremony to contact the dead, is simple in concept but terrifyingly effective in execution, a product of its time. Sure, but one that is worth revisiting even as lockdown memories begin to fade. First off, don't let those fucking memories fade because you're going to continue to vote for terrible people who locked you down.
Amen.
This movie does not sound fascinating to me at all.
No.
Like, do you even remember what I just read?
Well, I immediately checked out when you were talking about them doing like a Zoom call to summon a ghost.
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like that? How is that? Where's the possibility? Where's the realm of possibility?
So it's almost like a found footage film is what it sounds like,
yeah,
but not like found.
Yeah.
But it's that style.
like single camera.
And I don't do
Yeah,
that. I don't do that trash.
It just.
But it sounds like it's
lost
gonna be a
me.
lot of webcam recording, like screen
Yeah,
recording,
Yeah,
like of different
yeah,
people,
it
like
lost me.
sitting at home with Cheeto fingers, typing away, trying to like remote
Summon a ghost.
summon it. Like,
No.
Okay,
I don't buy
like
it. No, I don't buy it. That's
I don't
not
know,
for me.
summoning films never really land with me.
They can, but not that one.
Yeah, like
not like that. That's not how you do it.
like it normally it seems kind of hokum to me.
yeah,
Where it's like,
for the most part, it is very like
"Oh,
yeah.
the Ouija board's moving on its
Yeah,
own.
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know. It just
The
it's
Hasbro toy.
yeah, it's a hard sell for me.
No,
Like
I'm
I
with
don't,
you. I'm
but
with you.
that's just me. Like
Yeah.
I'm allowed to be wrong if you think I'm wrong. Like I don't know. It doesn't seem interesting to me at all.
No, it lost me almost immediately talking about doing video call to summon something
Yeah,
because
like,
it's too like.
so imagine just zooming into like 4 of your buddies and be
The-
like, "Hey, bro, you know what we're doing today? Summoning a ghost."
Summoning a ghost, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it virtually.
Because we are allowed to be haunted. We're not allowed to get each other sick.
Yeah.
So you stay in your
Yeah.
house across town,
Yeah. It's
and
stupid.
my brother Jimmy, who lives in another freaking state. No, I was gonna bring it over here, dude. Like on screen.
Endless plot holes.
Yeah, it just. It
I
seems
can already
weak.
see that.
And then
being,
who's
like, endless
who's the
plot holes.
ghost gonna bother?
That's what I'm saying.
Like if
and
you've
is
got
it going to
4
be
or 5
outside of the
dudes-
screen, or is it going to be like with whoever just gets unlucky on the Zoom call?
That's what
just
I'm
ends
saying.
up getting it. Like,
Like-
it doesn't make any sense.
And then it's supposed to like bounce to like
From
to the
person to
next
person? Yeah,
guy,
it's
like
stupid.
through the digital.
so dumb.
I don't know. Sounds.
This is movie number 2 on here where I'm like, this list fucking sucks
Yeah.
because that doesn't even sound scary at all.
No, it sounds like a waste of my time. Anything for Jackson 2020. Ever heard of it?
Nope.
Nope.
Of all the films on this list, Anything for Jackson is one that has flown most deeply under the radar. Well, fucking Longlegs needs to be buried.
It was in 2020.
Yeah. This one was on the radar. Moving straight to the boutique horror streaming service Shudder after a small festival tour. But if you give it a shot, you'll most likely be hooked from the opening scene.
Yeah, the opening scene.
I'm
was
already
actually
seeing
pretty
boring. In it, a seemingly normal elderly couple are mourning the loss of their grandson. Dude, you've already got me kind of checking out. But while they may be easygoing in their demeanor, they secretly worship darker forces, determined to find a vessel that could bring their beloved progeny back from the dead. And while it could easily have veered into familiar and gory territory, the film has a restrained take that allows an unsettling feeling to take hold instead. So it's a mild
Yeah.
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
Who needs that?
Well, the one thing that would creep me out is old people, because old people do creep me out. So it got me there. It got me there a little bit. I was creeped out just listening to it. But yeah, you're right. It's
Hot
a
takes,
mild,
hot takes.
mild tempered Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, like instead
Almost the same premise,
of very similar, but it
Very
says
similar.
toned down.
toned down.
Like Pet Cemetery went hard in the paint.
Yeah. Did you see the second one?
The original or like remake
Whoa.
series?
Remake series.
No.
No.
No,
neither.
I've seen the
in the
original
hell?
part 2
Cody talked about
With
it.
the
I know
freaking
we're
drill
gonna
bit.
we're gonna bring up Cody Leach a lot
with the drill
probably
with
in
the
this
with the drill and the
podcast.
drill bit. Zzz, yeah.
Yeah.
The second one I saw of the originals.
So you know like the snow machine where it like
The
picks up
snowblower?
snow- yeah, yeah. So they had a neighbor that did that apparently, and he just shoved his head in it. Like it was just they look outside the window. They both look out. He
Oh, I
looks
know
and just
that
went
dude.
thwomp.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah, it's because they're into darker forces. I do like that old man, the actor.
Who was it?
I don't remember his name. Let's see.
I'll look him up.
Yeah, you do that.
For Jackson
He's been. You'll see him as soon as we pull him up.
Henry Walsh. Henry Walsh? That guy? The old guy?
No, Julian Richings. He's played the Grim Reaper.
Oh, okay.
He
I
was
recognize him.
Death in Supernatural.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wrong Turn. Anything for Jackson. Spare Parts. Oh shoot! Damn, that's right. He was in Cube. Have you ever seen Cube?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking love
It's
that
been
movie,
forever.
dude. So Cube, he plays the inmate. There's one scene from that movie that I think about every once in a while because it was so kind of like an obscure kind of
Okay.
moment. Because he was basically a lifer in prison. If you haven't seen Cube, watch Cube. It is a fantastic movie, and it set the precedent for like that. A movie I still haven't watched because I think it's going to be a cheap ripoff. Escape Room came out like a year ago,
with-
a couple years ago.
Escape Room with.
It's fairly new. It's got some famous chick in it.
That seems
That's all I remember.
interesting.
Look up Escape Room.
I don't know if I've seen the previews for it or anything.
Come on, young Jamie, pull it up.
Escape Room movie?
Yeah.
Do you want the actors?
Yeah.
You got Taylor Roselle, Logan Miller, Deborah Ann Wall, Nikki Dodonna, Tyler Laban, Jay Ellis. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's the movie. So what year is it?
2019.
Yeah, okay.
2019.
So it doesn't quite fall in this category, but and I still haven't seen it. But Cube kind of set the precedent for like being trapped. It's actually the predecessor to Saw too.
Okay.
Like Saw drew inspiration from Cube because Cube was from like '97. But in it, you got all these people trapped in these cubicle rooms that
Cube
constantly
was in
shift
97.
like someone is playing
It
a
sounds
giant
familiar
Rubik's
the more you
cube.
talk about it, yeah.
It's like someone's playing a giant Rubik's cube, and each room is like 10 foot by 10 foot by 10 foot, and you've got these little tunnels halfway up in each room going in every wall, so you can constantly go through, and you're trying to make it. It's basically a giant maze. You got to make it through, and it's almost like Predators, where you just a bunch of people wake up and they're like, where the hell are we? Trying to figure out what they have to do. Like there's no real rules. You just got to figure out how to survive. And each room, not all of them, and it winds up having to do like someone figures out prime numbers. Prime numbers are safe rooms. Other rooms aren't safe, and there's ways to die in those rooms.
Oh, okay.
And part way through like this trying to escape situation, they run into this dude who's wearing like an old school military jacket and stuff. Turns out he's a
Fahrenheit
like
451.
master prison escape artist. Dude's
Okay.
escaped like every prison he's ever been in, and he's tunneling through all this, and he's been surviving on his own, and they didn't even know he was there. They run into him. Well, now the scene that always sticks in my mind is someone's complaining about water. They're dehydrating because they don't have any supplies, and he's like, take the button off your shirt. And she's like, what? And he goes, take the button off your shirt, put it in your mouth. Just suck on the button. It'll keep your saliva glands working, and it'll help you feel like you're not dehydrating. She's like, what? And he sticks out his tongue, and he's got one of the buttons off of his jacket on his tongue. It's just kind of a weird, random throwaway moment, but it kind of stuck with me. Of all the things that happened in that crazy-ass film, that's something that stuck with me. I don't even remember all the kills, but it's the predecessor to Saw.
Okay.
Cube it was so much fun. I used to love watching
It's
that
been a
movie.
really long time since I've seen
It's
it.
old, dude. It's an old film. I think it's probably kind of an obscure one. A lot
I
of people
probably
have
watched
never
it in
even
the
seen.
early 2000s.
Probably.
Yeah.
I have it on VHS somewhere.
Nice.
Okay, so that was anything for Jackson. Blah. Good actor in it though.
Oh yeah,
Nope. 2022.
Nope was good.
It wasn't scary though.
See, yeah, and he was saying he didn't really care much for it.
It wasn't scary.
I haven't seen it. I've only ever seen one of his films, and it was Get Out.
Us was way scarier, and it wasn't even supposed to be like it was a thriller, not a horror film.
Saying I haven't seen either Us or Nope. I understand the premise to both.
Yeah.
Get Out was a mind fuck.
Yeah, you would like Us. I think you would.
I probably would. I just have never seen it.
Yeah.
Gosh, the graphics.
So you know about Nope, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. Just trying to get pictures of a UFO. What makes... Oh, here, I will read this.
Speaking of Nope, so I saw it with Frank, my old boss at Midtown.
Mm-hmm.
We went and saw it together, and the first thing he said when we got out of the movie theater, he goes, "Man, Nope."
So what makes Nope scary, apart from the obvious alien presence that literally looms large over the characters, is the fact that many of us are not much different. We as humans are drawn to darkness no matter how gruesome, and facing that is deeply unsettling truth. I mean, okay.
I mean, sure.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah,
Sure.
if you say so.
Go ahead.
It seems like whoever's writing these is really into like squeezing a plot and
Yeah,
getting
dude.
every last drop of
Because
word
I haven't
that they can out of
seen
something.
Nope, but I know Nope is kind of a very slow
They did the
burn.
same shit with Long Legs.
Yeah.
Dude, Long Legs sucks
the way they-
so
But
bad.
then the way they wrote it, like if you read that before you saw it, you'd be like, "Oh, this is probably gonna be a pretty good flick." Like you would read that and go, "This is gonna be pretty good."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the-
it's
Like
so underwhelming.
whoever's in charge of this.
But the thing is, Nope wasn't scary, but it was good.
So
it
this
wasn't
is the
scary,
National.
but it was a good film.
My only gripe with it was how slow it was, and
It could have
took
been a little bit
forever
more
Dude,
for
fast
anything to
paced.
happen.
he does drag a story.
Yeah,
Like, I think all those years of doing 2-minute skits.
yeah. He wants to write. He wants to write something long.
I want long form.
I mean, when you put it like that, it's very mind altering. It makes me think differently. But yeah, it was just because I really enjoyed
Get
Us.
Out was very slow.
Get Out, but I liked it. But
It
I
was
liked-
heavy,
It had a good pace.
but
I
it-
thought it had a pretty good pace.
I feel like it was slow
Okay.
until he was strapped to that damn chair.
yeah,
And then you're like, oh, this escalated
and then
now.
it picked up. Yeah,
But the first like hour, you're like,
Come on, man.
dude, do something. Like,
Yeah.
Grandpa's running like a weirdo.
Mhm.
Like, everyone there's kind of acting bizarre.
yeah,
Like, you know something's up, but where they take it, you're like, well, I didn't see that coming.
yeah, exactly.
Like, it's a really good left field
Mhm.
movie, but it's kind of a one and done. I've never seen it again.
yeah,
I watched it one time, and I
Was
was
it-
riveted, but I was kind of bored for the first. I was like, where's the twist? Like,
Yeah.
I can't put pieces together. It feels like a puzzle that was missing a lot of pieces.
yeah.
And then they just exposition dump them on you.
Mhm.
And then you're like, when he's strapped in that chair, and you're like, oh, it's a weird Twilight Zone movie. Okay.
Yeah,
Like, now I'm with it. But there for a while, you're like, what the frick is going on here?
and I thought Us had a good pace too.
But that's why I didn't watch Us.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want to sit around for a 2.5-hour movie for 30 minutes of it to be really good.
Yeah,
So I just didn't give it a chance.
I get it. I hear you.
Um,
I do that with movies sometimes.
but I have
too.
no opinion because I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
Like, I'm aware of it and I've seen clips and stuff, and I know other people like were really raving about it. But I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not out here picketing against it.
Mhm.
Like, I think what he did with Get Out was extremely creative.
yeah,
Like, I know he's a creative person, and I know he's really wanting to delve deep into horror.
yeah.
But it feels like he's more into psychological,
Yeah,
mind bendy stuff,
psychological
not
thrillers, yeah.
not horror.
Yeah.
But, anyways, so,
All right. So
no,
it's movie number 3.
Talk to Me, 2022.
Haven't heard of it.
It was alright.
Sometimes
You saw it?
I watched like half of it and I decided, I didn't like it.
So I have heard a little bit about this.
Okay.
I've got zero interest in watching it. Sometimes you never know where the best horror talent will get their start. In 2022, a giggling pair of YouTuber twin brothers from Australia named Danny and Michael Philippou, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, somehow gave the world one of the scariest films in recent memory. Following a group of young people who contact the dead by holding hands with a mysterious porcelain statue, another freaking doll, it quickly becomes a moving exploration of grief. And while it often relies on jump scares, it uses them well in the truly scary moments of psychological rather than simple shocks. Now, do you see why I haven't seen it?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of
Another contacting.
with a doll.
Yeah.
Like another doll. Like,
Well, can they at least?
you
switch it
don't
up?
like dolls, so
Oh,
this
no,
is
I hate dolls. No, I don't like. I particularly don't even know where.
I know what you're getting for Christmas.
I
Dude,
will
so
burn
there's
it
so
so
your
quick.
so your mom so my wife's all about Raggedy Ann and Raggedy
Yeah,
Andy.
I know.
And they don't. So my house, I've got a very large room. Right when you walk in the front house, and it's like our pool table, and I've got a bunch of pops and everything in there.
Bunch of
But we
Legos.
used to have, before things kind of got rearranged and before the Lego cabinet went in, we had your mom's. It's right by the front door now.
Mhm.
There's a big glass front curio cabinet, and she's got like all of her Raggedy Ann and Andy stuff in there. A bunch of my Garfield stuff is in there now, and then like there's a couple of her NFL stuff. But the Raggedy Andy and Raggedy Ann would sit right on top of it, and it was, if you walk down our hallway, it's what you would be staring at clear across the house.
Yes,
Well, when Richter walks out of his room, you walk out and just turn your head left, and you're staring down the hall across the room right at him. Well, in the middle of the night, he'd walk out, and he's right across from the bathroom. So you go to walk across the bathroom, and that freak him out every time.
every time I
And
would.
because I've got cameras all around this property, I've got video of him walking over and turning him around or laying him down.
I'll be honest, I did that.
At like 2 a.m, he'd walk over there, he'd turn on the light to the room, and then lay them down, turn them off, and go to the bathroom. It took it took a couple of days before your mom was like, "What the hell's going on with the dolls?" And went on and looked at the cameras and would see him constantly screwing with the dolls.
That's hilarious.
No, it's just like another thing is what I would do is
Never mind the fact
Those
that now,
same dolls used to freak me out as a kid too, so it's okay.
but never mind the fact that he walks out, turns the corner, and there's like 300 pops staring at him.
Yeah.
Well, it's like they weren't scary. They were in cases. And even when Raggedy Ann was in the case, I would just stare at it, just not even.
Yeah, because there's more than one Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy. But
And-
there were the big ones are on top.
Yeah.
Dude, that
But-
was so funny.
So we had a house once, and she used to have them up top,
Oh,
like in the
no.
living room. There was this like mantle
In just a
shelf,
row.
and they would be up on the very top. So when you first walk in the house, the light would always perfectly come through because there was one of those like half circle
Yeah.
glass things above the door. So the light would come through and like perfectly illuminate just the Raggedy Ann and Andy. It used to freak me the fuck out.
Well, because also what I would do instead of like moving them is I would walk out of my room, I'd immediately hook my head to the left and walk to the bathroom. I wouldn't even stare forward. I would just
Yeah,
stare.
dude,
and just
he'd
walk.
watch him and he'd be like, "Got my eyes
Make
on
sure
you,
they're not
bro."
moving. Yeah.
Yeah, like I wish I could go back in time and like be there when he's doing that, but be around the corner. So as soon as you'd walk into the bathroom, I'd move it closer. Yeah, I never had that opportunity though. But yeah, anyways. So talk to me. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't. It just doesn't fit. I mean, I love good jump scares because
Yeah.
I'm really jumpy. So they excite me.
Yeah,
They
get the blood
They
going.
get my adrenaline
Yeah.
going. So I enjoy jump scares, even though I'm very jumpy. But I don't know, man. Something about conjuring demon or whatever you're conjuring, and especially through a doll, it just feels played out.
It is.
It feels played out. Like it's been done. It's been
Yeah.
done again.
It's been done to death. You
It's
need
been
to
done
do
to death.
come up with
Do something
new.
different. Yeah.
Like the
Which-
Conjuring.
And
on
please
that-
don't do it on a
Interesting.
fucking webcam. Please,
Yeah.
no.
Which on that topic, there is one film that I have been interested to see. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. I just blanked it because we kind of went on a tangent. But there's a new one that like just came out or is about to come out. I think it just came out with a group of people where they've got a hand.
Oh, I've actually seen the.
The trailer for it.
No, Mom asked me if I wanted to come. I said no.
But there's a new one where they've got this hand and they're messing with this hand and they're like being possessed for a little while they're holding this
Okay.
de-bodied hand.
Okay.
And the like, and it's like a party game. It's like a party trick
Okay.
that this like group of young people are doing. That it's funny and amusing to them.
Yeah.
Until
it's
not.
called The Hand 2023.
Is it called The Hand?
It's literally called The Hand 2023.
Are you sure that's what it's called?
That's that. I'm pretty sure I looked
And
up.
emerges from having. No. This isn't it.
Okay, then I'll keep
That's
searching.
not it.
I'll keep searching. Because it wasn't it with
I was
like
like, I
the
don't think
black
it's
girl
called The
inside the middle.
Hand.
No, it's called Talk to Me. That's literally what. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Well, I just read it. Talk to. So maybe it's also called Talk to Me.
No, never.
'Cause
Yeah.
I just read Talk to Me.
Yeah.
And that's
No, it's called Talk to Me. Where she puts like a hand on something. I just skipped forward a bunch. Is it? Yeah. She's being possessed or something. She's grabbing
Yeah,
a
but
hold.
where's the hand?
I.
There it is.
Yeah, I just skipped
Okay,
it.
so it is also called Talk to Me,
Oh, okay.
It's called Talk to Me.
which is why
It's not the
reading this
same one?
threw me off. Yeah, no, it's a different movie.
Oh,
Tw-
okay.
2023.
and it's
This-
newer.
Oh, okay.
So same
1 year
title.
apart.
Yeah, 1 year apart with a better premise.
Okay.
Like that seems interesting to me because
Yeah.
it's not, oh, we're holding a doll and we're being fun and we're going to summon something because
Yeah.
we're retarded.
The possession comes
Like-
from the hand.
Yeah, but it starts off as like a funny thing.
Okay.
Because it's short. Like you're only doing it while you're holding the hand.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like this where you summon it and now it's here forever.
Yeah.
And then you got to figure out how to trap it. Got to call in Sam and Dean to come pour some salt and get rid of it. Like the new one, that seems fascinating to me. It's a much better premise. To me, anyway. It may suck. I don't know. But the premise makes it look good. Late Night with the Devil. 2023. This movie actually looked interesting to me. I haven't seen it because your mom has zero interest in watching it.
I've seen. Okay, this is on. It's either on Netflix or on Hulu. It's
Yeah.
on one of the two.
Yeah, it's like a 70s talk show.
Maybe
thing.
I'll watch it.
It looks good.
Okay.
The trailer had me intrigued like
Really?
a year ago when it first came out. So starring David Dastmalchian. He played the crazy guy in the Batman movies. Late Night with the Devil shows the downfall of a late night talk show host whose ratings drop, so he must resort to cheap tactics such as a Halloween episode in which he hosts a cast of guests that attempt to communicate with the dead.
Okay.
The whole film is presented like a lost episode in which we see both the show and the behind-the-scenes happenings, with every passing segment building up to an incredible crescendo. The scariest thing about the film is how it lulls you into the sense that you're watching a real true crime documentary, hoping you would forget that it's a horror film at all.
Not
If it
really.
works on you, then you're in for a thrill ride that will get under your skin.
What's that one called again? Talk to the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil?
Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, this one actually seems interesting.
Yeah, but again,
Might
why,
put it on
why,
my watch
why would
list
you
real
go
quick.
to cheap tactics to contact the dead?
No, like the point is the dude's job, like
Down
his
bad
ratings
for
are
it.
dropping.
He's down bad for it, pretty much.
Can't believe
So-
Grim Cuddy and Pearl haven't been on here. Like, actual. I mean, some of them
X,
might be
like-
actual horror films, but
So far, none
for
of
the
them.
most part, no.
So this one I've never heard of. The Empty Man from
Ooh.
2020.
Okay.
Directed by David Pryor, a regular collaborator of filmmaker David Fincher. The Empty Man is unlike any other horror movie in recent years. It dances between genres and explores familiar themes: spooky cults, disappearances, murder, and supernatural beings. But it does it all with a singular vibe that hooks it all together. Something feels off from the start, and that unease does dissipate. Unease does dissipate till the twist ending? I think they meant doesn't dissipate. All right. Well, I mean, very vague, but I mean, maybe it's good. I don't know. So the next one, Speak No Evil.
Oh, that one was good.
Remake.
This is the 22 version.
Mm-hmm.
The 24 remake of Speak No Evil, starring James McAvoy, received a rave review. I'm aware of it. I've read the entire synopsis. I know all about this movie. Even if you've seen the new version, give this one a shot. It may start the same, but the last 20 minutes completely changed in the remake will leave you cowering behind the sofa. So I guess the two have different endings. I don't know. I haven't seen either one of them.
Leach talked about that, about the fact that the endings were different, and the fact that the American version, the newer version, took like a really big turn like halfway through the film that made it way more interesting than the
Okay.
original.
Right on.
That's the only reason why I want to see it,
Okay.
because I've seen the original and it's okay. It's not anything to like write home
Nothing
about. Yeah,
mind-bending.
but he says that midway through the film, it takes a pretty abrupt turn and gets really interesting. And he said it carried out throughout the film, and he liked the ending.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
that's from him. I trust him.
Yeah.
He's pretty versed when it comes to horror films.
Oh, he's definitely seen way
I
more
trust
than
his,
me.
I trust his opinion.
I think I've seen as many movies as him, probably more.
There's some
but
things
I've
that
seen a
hit-
lot less horror film than him.
Okay, there's some things that I don't agree with him, but
Yeah, but it's kind of rare.
yeah,
Like, there's only a few things that I disagree on.
I still
and
can't believe he doesn't like strangers.
I get it though.
I don't. It's a great film,
Um,
one of my favorites. It's on
But
my.
yeah.
It's on my. I started my 25 list.
yeah,
Mhm.
I have
Like your top 25?
top
or
25 movies of all time.
Yeah, of all time.
What's your first one?
I don't know my first one yet.
So you're going down from top 25 from the
I'm starting
25th?
from the bottom because it seemed easier for me to do.
What I do, I've made lists a couple of times in my life. What I do is I just start writing down movies,
Mhm.
and then I rank them later.
Okay.
Like I would just go
Just
through the
movies that you like.
catalog, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Like that's always going to be my top 10.
Yeah.
My top
But then
10.
like you just start writing them down. It's like, oh yeah, I love this one,
Mhm.
love this one, love this one. And then once you have them, and once you've got molded over, and you're like, you see them on paper, and you go, double check there's nothing else in that
Mhm.
list that for you, like you haven't thought about or whatever, and then go through them and go, okay, what now? Start trying to rank 'em.
Okay.
And then like you can do it from either way. You could scan through and go, okay, well this one's probably my favorite, or these 5 are my top 5,
Mhm.
and then you've just got 20 to rank.
Mhm.
Because then you only have to sit down and go, okay, well I like this a little more than this, a little more
Yeah.
than this, and then with your top 5, you can actually like really get into it.
Okay.
I mean that's
Yeah,
kind of
no,
how
I
I
hear
think
you.
about it
Yeah.
anyway. But I find it's easiest to just get them all on paper
Mhm.
and then rank them from there.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about because it'll take you forever
Yeah, it's taking me a while.
to go 'em one by one.
Yeah.
And go, okay, well 25, and then you have to think of 25 films, and then rank them in your head,
Yeah.
and then decide which one, and then do it again with every step.
Yeah.
I would just get them all on paper, and then from there, I think you'll find it to be a lot easier.
Okay, I'll try it.
Because then you're not having to think about
Yeah.
it so badly. Like,
Well,
it's not all in your mind.
what do you think about From? Like the TV show that you guys have been watching. What do you think about it? From?
It's really good.
I've been watching it from day one, so I'm hooked. Like, I think it's really good.
I like this episode.
Like-
this one we watched tonight.
There is probably a lot of things that someone could complain about. I personally think it's really well done, and I can't really think of any downfalls.
Mhm.
That's just me, though. Like,
I think
I'm sure someone else could totally pick the show apart.
I feel
But
like the
I've been hooked from episode 1, and I found it when it was only on like its second or third episode. Like,
Mhm.
I've been watching it from the beginning. I've had to wait the year in between seasons. I
'cause-
think it's really good. One of the things that I like that Cody Leach is tired of is I do like the kids' art.
Yeah.
And because I think it's an interesting take because it's not being drawn by a child.
Yeah.
It's being drawn by a dude who has been drawing him his whole life.
Yeah.
But he's been stranded on, basically he was on his own for several years,
Mhm.
which is something you haven't really caught to. But
A little
Victor,
bit. Yeah.
but Victor was stranded there by himself for a
Yeah.
long time
Yeah.
because everyone died
yeah.
and he was the only guy alive.
I remember seeing that.
So oh, that's right. They
There
did
was
a
a
recap.
flashback,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he was by himself for a few years
Mhm.
as a developing kid, like who didn't continue his education. It's like I think they flesh out characters really well.
Mhm.
And I know you haven't seen all of season 1, and
Not
you've
yet.
only seen part of season 2.
Yeah.
But
No,
you've
I've
been
only seen
watching.
part of season 3.
But you've been watching all of season 3.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. So you haven't seen any of season 2.
Nuh-uh.
But so based on your experience, since you haven't seen so much of these characters,
Mhm.
do you feel like you've got an understanding of each character just from season 3?
from the layout.
To a degree.
Yeah, not
there's-
not like you
there's-
know everything
yeah,
about
there's
them.
some
but
that I get, like Randall I get. And you kind of explained to me his whole like scenario with the bus and how he ended up in the bus and why he chooses to be alone and everything like that.
Mhm.
I get I forget the sheriff's name.
crap, I just blanked it.
The black guy.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
um,
he's a sheriff. I just blanked his name.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry.
'Cause-
I'm
and it's
forgetting
a
his
short name
Yeah.
too.
was it like Ray?
I'm understanding his character and where he comes from. The wife that went missing and came back.
Mm-hmm. Boyd.
Boyd.
Boyd. Thank you. I was thinking Duke.
I was like, it's short. It's
Yeah.
only 4. I was like,
was
it's
thinking Duke.
because he doesn't look like a Boyd.
No.
So it's kind of a weird name, but it works. Yeah. So the wife that just came back,
The wife that just
Tabitha.
came back, Tabitha, yeah, and then her husband. I got a little bit of understanding from him because I watched the only episode that I've seen aside from season 3 is the first episode
Mhm.
because you went back a little bit. I think it was like episode like 1 or 2.
It was one. It
When
was
I-
episode
when
1.
when I was like, I like the show, like I want to watch it more. You went back and you watched the first episode with me, so I got the whole them first coming to the town
Mhm.
and everything like that.
Did
Picking
you
that
find
up.
it pretty interesting?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, when the
I'm
RV
hooked.
wrecked and they had
Yeah.
to stay in the RV.
Yeah,
And he's like,
And
oh,
then-
there's help.
and
Let them
then-
in here to help us.
and then Victor's dad, that character's been. I think I got introduced to him
yes.
because he got introduced to season 3.
Yep.
And I've gotten to know him, picked up his character pretty well.
Dude, I got like, my eyes got wet tonight.
when they met.
Yeah, when he's like watching because dude, these actors are so good. Like in my opinion, it's all just my opinion. Again, people could crap all over it, but
There are people out there that
they behave like they've picked up each other's mannerisms.
Yeah.
Like they're sharing a
Oh,
mannerism.
yeah.
So that's really good acting to me.
Yeah.
Like you have two completely different humans
Mhm.
that are portraying a very like
Like a similar character. Yeah.
subtle things that are very much the same.
Mhm.
Like when he's standing out there going, oh, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Well, I see a hotel sign and I see a pool.
But
Where's the
Where's the
hotel?
hotel? That's something that I've never asked.
Yeah.
I was like,
I haven't either.
holy shit, dude, you're right. I've been watching this show for 3 years and I've never been like, where the hell's the hotel?
Yeah.
They have mentioned the truck that's upside down in the pool.
Mhm.
In season 2, Boyd's like, man, we've been here so long. We've lost so many people. Whose truck was this?
Mhm.
I don't even remember whose truck this was. So they do actually address the upside down truck in the pool, but they never go, where's the hotel?
Yeah.
Like, and it's clearly like an antique hotel sign,
Mhm.
like the strip right up here with all the old
Yeah.
neons.
I know what you're talking about.
So, like, but when he was like, "Oh, you must be Victor's dad," it's like, yeah, he carries himself a very similar way, and they got similar like little nuanced mannerisms. But then when they finally got to meet, like, I was like, I could feel my eyes. I was like, oh damn, like I'm feeling something from this. Like that's good writing
Yeah.
to me. But I think Victor's a fascinating character.
He was in season 1, like him investigating trees.
Measuring trees.
That was really interesting. I was like, what is he doing? And then later on, season 2, he was doing it. I was like, oh,
Measuring trees.
Yeah, because you've now seen him do it too. He just didn't go like into a deep dive of what he was doing.
like season 1,
But-
he went deep
but-
into it.
But in season 1, when him and the little boy become friends, that's what he's out there and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm measuring the trees. Go
Yeah.
away."
Like he was just,
But anyways, so you've watched. So how much of it have you seen? Because I'm trying to think of how much of it you've watched with
all of
us.
season 1 and half of season 2.
Okay, what do you think?
I find it pretty interesting. I thought like it was putting the sheriff inside the kill box was a little crazy, a little over excessive, but somewhat needed. Because he went into the kill box, the little weird thing where they put to
No, it's it's a horse trailer.
yeah, the kill box is what I'm gonna call it. They put him inside the kill box. I think that was a little over excessive.
What, Boyd?
They put Boyd inside the kill box.
No, I'm trying to remember that scene.
Because I remember
out.
I remember it clear.
No, he's put a few other people in the. Oh, did he have a talisman?
Yeah, he had a talisman on him. Boyd and
I'm trying to remember that. If you haven't seen From, it's a horror TV show, and it's rife with questions. You get
it's kind of like back rooms. There's no escape. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, it seems like a better version of Lost.
It's all around better than Lost. Yeah,
But-
from somebody that's seen Lost, it's way
Because
better.
we were talking about this the other day. We were talking about Lost because I never watched it. I'm
Dude,
like
the first
one
2 or
American
3
who didn't
episodes are
watch it.
fucking super sweet on Lost,
And
and
then
then
the rest of
it
it
just
just
falls apart.
It's because they didn't know what they were doing,
it falls
and that's
apart.
been well documented
It's
that
very-
they had no
yeah.
plan.
I stuck through it though.
Yeah,
I did. I powered through.
just iron button the whole
I
way.
troopered
Huh?
it. Yeah, and then the ending was like, I was like, oh, this sucked. Well, because I had by the time I saw the ending, I had already known that the ending was known to have been terrible. So I was like already looking forward to the fact that it was going to end at some point and it was going to be very disappointing. And then I got to it, and it was way worse than I thought it was going to be.
So, Dad, I
The
feel
girls never came, man.
Dude, they
the
never
girls
came.
never came.
They never came.
I think this is gonna give you a different perspective on From. Every time I see the season trailer 3 with Boyd saying he can't be broken and even the monsters taunting him, it reminds me of the biblical character Job. And it says, theory, Job is presented as a good and prosperous family man who is suddenly beset with horrendous disasters that take away all he holds dear. A scenario intended to test Job's faith in God, struggling mightily to understand this situation. Job reflects on his despair, but constantly remains devout.
Yeah,
that kind of, and
Well, he's
it's kind of like Boyd.
Are
'Cause
you
Boyd-
wearing an engagement ring?
No, it's
Oh,
just a
okay.
ring that only. Oh well, I just got it stuck.
I was like, are you wearing an engagement
No,
No.
it's either it fits the pinky
Gotta
or
get them diamonds, son.
Man, I just got it stuck.
I
Trying to
made a
show you.
joke one day, and now I've got diamonds on my ring. I made a joke about wanting something shiny,
Nice.
and now she
and
put something
then she
shiny.
bought. Well, I'm hard on jewelry because I work with my hands. So
Do you wear that at work?
yeah,
Jeez.
when I first got it, I would take it off
Mhm.
and I'd wear like a silicone band.
Yeah, that's
or
what I
I've,
figured you'd wear.
Or I've
Yeah,
got one
the
that's
silicone
actually.
one.
She got me a custom one made that's
Is it the one that
it's
spins?
whiskey barrel. No, I mean it will spin, but it's not a spinner. Yeah, but I would destroy that at work.
Mine's the autistic one, the one
Um,
that spins.
But I've got one that she had custom made that was it's whiskey barrel wood
okay.
and then like coated. I don't know what it's coated in, but it's a really nice ring. But I had 3 of them because she got me the ring. Like I just had like a basic silver band. Like
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't care. But I kept bending it, like working. And so she got me a silicone ring, and I wore that a lot.
Yeah, I even
But then she
asked
was
what
like,
it
"You need
was.
something like when we go out. You need like a nice ring, not just some silicone band." So she got me the whiskey barrel one. Well, she bought it for me, and then I went right back into like training and lifting heavy. Well, I get big, so my hands got so big I couldn't wear the ring anymore.
Mhm.
So she bought me a bigger one, and then she bought me a bigger one. So I have 3 of the same ring in 3 different sizes.
Different sizes.
And then made a joke one day about. She was like, "I want a new ring." And I was like, "You're wearing an expensive ass rock on your hand." She was like, "Well, I just want something that's like like simpler, subtler, not just one giant stone,
Mhm.
and then all the other diamonds." I don't know. She just wanted something shiny, and we had money. Thanks, Trump.
Thank
So
you.
she just wanted something shiny. She saw something and it was a set. So it's his and her ring. So now it's like 13 diamonds.
Nice.
So yeah, now I'm blinging.
Nice.
But I do like that they're recessed so they don't catch it.
Yeah,
on
that's
it.
what
So
I was worried about.
Yeah, because I asked the first year, they were like, "Hey, do you want insurance?" And I was like, "Does it cover a missing stone?" They're like, "No." And I was like, "Then I don't want your fucking insurance." Like, if you're not going to cover the only expensive part, and I don't believe. I think diamonds are the worst thing to purchase with your fucking money. But
Hmm.
Well, they're
as a
not
married
really
man,
expensive.
you don't make those decisions all the time. So, anyways, yeah, dude, with Boyd and Job, there are parallels that you could draw on. Boyd is called Mr. Fish and Loaves as a reference from the Bible of being able of like Jesus being able to feed a multitude with some fish and some loaves of bread. So when he was a Marine, he was able to supply his crew with more than enough of what they needed, basically out of thin air. Like he was very resourceful. So that's kind of why he fell into the role of like leading the townspeople because he was a strong leader in the Marines. He's very resourceful. He's good at keeping people alive as long as they're willing to work with him. The moment someone decides to work against him, they wind up dead.
Mm.
Like, and he takes it all
Seems
very
weird.
personally.
It just happened this episode.
Yeah, like he's like, "What do I got?" And what's really funny is that whole episode. I was like, "Dude, that's me when I get angry." Like I start ranting, and then I just go, like I can't even with you people." And then he kept doing that. And he was like, "I want to be pissed at you because you won't listen to me, and I have your best interest, and like
Yeah.
that's all I think about is how to keep you people alive. That's all I've dedicated my time here to." And he's like, "I can't do this anymore." So, but he is the spirit and the backbone of that entire community. And if he cracks, everyone's just going to go do their own damn thing.
Mhm.
And that's why they're trying to break him and screw with him and torture him because he's the last strong person there. Because even what's her name running the big house? And I
I can't think of her name.
love her character, but I'm blanking character names right now. Donna. Donna is like the baddest chick in the yard,
Mhm.
and she's starting to break now, and he's having to like keep her going.
Mhm.
So they know if they break Boyd,
Everybody falls.
yeah, everyone's coming down. He's the final domino,
Mhm.
and they're pushing on him hard. I'm really interested to see how long they're going to be able to drag this show out for.
Yeah.
As a fan, I'd like to see it for a couple more years.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely other things that they keep alluding to, and I think the season finale is going to wind up revealing something crazy and new.
Mm-hmm.
I just have no idea what they're going to do, because you've got Jade running around saying he's seeing people. I mean, he's hallucinating those dead people, and then he's saying he's hearing people when they were out there foraging for food. So there's whatever that is they could reveal. And then you haven't even seen the kid in all white
Not yet.
in this whole season.
Well, I've seen. I saw a flashback clip of it with Victor. That was it.
Yeah,
Where he's sitting on the little Ferris wheel thing.
yeah, when he's talking about
whatever those things are called.
the merry-go-round.
I'm ahead.
Is that a merry-go-round?
Yeah, it's a little.
Is 10.
I was at a
I'm also
merry-go-round was
hungry,
flat.
So I'm head out.
All right, bud.
All right.
Need that? Yeah, you can take it. I love you. Good night. So,
Good night.
yeah, in season 1, you get the kid in white several times. In season 2, you get him a couple of times. Like, he's the one that actually leads Meredith, or what did I say her name was? Tabitha. Meredith. Tabitha to the tree, and then to the
Lighthouse.
the lighthouse, and then pushes her off and throws her back into the real world. And then he hasn't been hanging out in season 3. Like, it's kind of interesting that he hasn't been there, and it's just like negative thing after negative thing happening throughout town. And then the other seasons, there'd be like bad things, but it didn't seem like as much happening.
Yeah.
Even though like every episode's got some stuff happening. But it's been interesting. Like, they're ramping things up, and I'm really fascinated to see what the ending is.
Okay.
Like, for this season, because I think they only do I think it's 10 episodes.
And we're on what, 4 or 5?
We're on, let's see, episode guide. So we just watched the 5th one. So,
Okay.
and then season 2
So we're halfway through it.
had 10, and this had, so yeah, seems like 10 episodes apiece. So we're halfway through. You've got the pregnant chick eating rotten food
and blood.
and blood. And that can't be good.
Yeah, I think your theory of the whole monster baby is true, because that's what I think.
Dude, it's so
I
weird.
think it's a monster baby.
Yeah, one of the smiling people, whatever the hell they're called, the monsters. And like, how? Is it just the place is so polluted with evil or whatever?
That's what I'm thinking.
That anyone reproducing, this is what they're going to create?
I think so.
Like, because this clearly isn't a place of life.
No, it's a place of death.
Yeah, but then like finding the food. But then you've also introduced when they go out and the dude finds food. It's like, okay, there's also these crazy, you've got other buildings.
Mm-hmm.
They've never introduced other buildings before. And now there's cabins. You're like, okay, this is interesting. And then you've got the weird little effigies. And they even comment, don't mess with these because something bad. Like, clearly they're
somebody put them there.
Yeah, for a reason.
Yeah.
And then they took the rods out,
Mm-hmm.
like, to create the pry bar.
Yeah.
So what is that going to open up now?
Yeah.
Like, what's out there? Because it's clearly not the same whisper and smiley people.
No.
Like, because they're treating it like it's something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell is it? Like, I think it's a really good show. It's been really fun to watch.
I've been enjoying it. I'm late to the party, but I'm digging it.
Yeah, I think it's really good. You started watching Get Shorty.
Yes. About halfway through. Well, a little bit over halfway through the first season.
How's that?
I don't want to put in the third disc because I don't want to finish it because I
I've
don't
got
have
season
season
2.
2. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. On
Yeah,
DVD?
on Prime.
On Prime.
I've got
Okay.
season 2 on Prime.
Okay. All right. Phew. Okay, that makes me that relieves more. That relieves my stress of it. I dig it, dude. It's really fun. It's better than the movie.
Season 2 is probably my favorite season.
It was for the longest time. It was like my mom's favorite movie. So I've seen the movie 1,000 fucking times with her, and I like the show more.
It's so much better.
Yeah, I like the show a lot more. I really like
Lulu.
Lulu. I love Lulu. I think he's great. I love him being a Mormon hitman. I don't know why that makes me so happy.
devout Mormon.
A devout Mormon hitman. Won't have premarital sex, but he'll kill you. That's pretty great. I like when he went on the date with the
And she's like,
receptionist.
yeah, and she's like,
and he's
"What?"
he's like, no premarital sex, and she's like, what?
She's like, then what's the point? He's like, well, to get married.
To be friends, yeah, to
Yeah.
be really good, intimate relationship, and then maybe one day marriage. And she's like, this isn't gonna work for me. So great.
Yeah, she was like,
Lulu's awesome.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Lulu
dude.
and I'm forgetting the main character's name. The Irish guy. I can't think of his name.
Talking about Chris O'Dowd.
Yeah. But his character I really like a lot too.
Yeah, what's funny is in the movie, his name was Lucky, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
God, I freaking hate those movies. So you've got. What do you think of the main protagonist?
Oh, the
Amara?
lady, Amara. I like her. Her character's a little over the top for me. Like the rampant amount of violence is a little like like come on, you definitely would get caught, especially with the FBI already up your ass. Like,
Just
how are you
getting away with
How are you
murders?
getting away with these murders just nonchalantly?
What do you
And
think?
then moving to Los Angeles and just being like, oh, I'm gonna do it here now. Like it's a little. I'm like, come on.
What about Rick?
Which one's Rick?
Rick is Ray Romano.
Oh yeah, I like him a lot. Yeah.
And then Chris O'Dowd is Miles Daly.
Miles, thank you.
and
Miles.
dude, freaking Yago.
Iago.
Dude, God,
His character's over the top too.
but yeah, Louis, Lulu.
I love Lulu.
Lulu's so freaking
He's
great.
my favorite so far.
I like Ed a lot. You get to know.
You like Ed.
You get to
I was
know.
gonna when you brought that up, I was like, how the fuck does he like Ed so much when you don't even get to know him?
You get to know him really well in
Okay.
season 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause I
season
was like,
2
I
and
was like,
season
'cause
3.
I was like, he barely talks. He doesn't do anything. He just nods his head and that's it. Yeah.
yeah, Ed's
That
great.
makes sense though that you get to know him more.
Yeah, season 2, he gets to know him quite a bit better.
Okay.
Yago, like all the characters kind of change a little bit
Okay.
moving forward.
Iago doesn't get caught.
I didn't say that.
Okay. I was like, how does this kid not get caught?
Yeah, Yago is the dumbest criminal in history.
I agree.
Like,
I haven't even seen that much of him
He's-
doing crime, and he's bad at it.
yeah, dude, he's bad at everything.
Yeah.
He's bad at being a turncoat.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to turn on Amara
Yeah,
and
then he
become the
fucked it
big
up- he
dog,
fucked that up.
and then he like panics
Yeah.
and pukes,
Threw up.
and then
yeah.
goes and he was like, I didn't want to tell you because I knew you'd
But
freak out.
They did talk to me.
But yeah, no, they did talk. They were, like,
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm supposed to be running these things. Like,
Yeah.
he wants to be the boss for like the respect thing, but he has no idea what he's doing, and he doesn't actually want to do any of it.
No.
Like, when he's finally being told to like, hey, yeah, you need to take care of this, he just brags a lot.
Yeah.
But he's a dumb little kid. Like,
Exactly.
he's a spoiled little punk
Little cokehead.
who doesn't know anything about anything.
Yep.
You love to hate that character. But like moving forward, like I don't know, the character's really fun moving like in season 2. He's kind of fun, if I remember right, he's kind of fun for the rest of season 1. Like he gets like all the characters kind of grow. Like you do
Okay.
see some character development that's kind of fun. But dude, Ray Romano, this is my favorite role he's ever done. He's so fun as Rick.
He is fun
like,
as Rick.
He gets like the fact
The
that
sleazy producer.
yeah,
Yeah.
but doesn't want anything to do with crime.
Yeah.
And he's like, a paper bag? Seriously?
Yeah.
When he brings him all the cash.
Yeah.
Like he knows it's sketchy,
Yeah.
but he doesn't want to get involved. He doesn't want to know. And he's like, even when he's like, you don't want to, Rick, we're telling you, you don't want to be involved with Amara at all. And he's like, well, I know like the rough stuff happened back
Yeah.
in Nevada, but that's your thing. That's
Yeah.
not my thing. Like that's your problem. They're like, no, you idiot. She's gonna be your problem.
Yeah.
Like you keep playing this game. And he was like, Nah, I'll be fine. You stop worrying about me.
Yeah. And then
You think
she
I'm gonna
ends up-
hurt Amara?
and then he ends
No,
up-
that's not what we're
Yeah.
worried about at all.
and then he ends up fucking her.
And he goes to leave, and then she's like, "No, you're staying. We're gonna have breakfast." And he's like, "All right."
Okay.
Like this is what he wants. He
want
wants a
pancakes.
strong woman that takes care of him.
Yeah.
And that really cares for him.
Yeah.
Like he needed that affection.
Uh-huh.
Like he's got such a low self-esteem, and she nails it at dinner, when they're having drinks. When she was like, "People don't treat you good, do they?" Like she dials in on him so quick,
easy, yeah.
and he's like, "No, you're right. That is how people have always treated me.
Yeah.
Like women don't respect me."
And so the episode that I ended with Rick and the two detectives coming over to his house, the FBI agents, and being like, "Here's the paperwork on your new girlfriend," and then like, "This is a business partner. This is an ex-lover. This was an ex-lover. This was an ex-lover," and they're all dead.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
all-
they give him a business card, and they're like, "You might want to burn that before she gets here." And they just bounce.
I wasn't
They
sure
just-
if you'd seen that part.
They just info dump on him, and then tell him like all this bad shit, and then they're like, "All right, well, we'll see you later."
And that's such a genius plan on their part.
Oh yeah,
Because
for
it's
sure.
like, hey, we're not going to try to turn you because it's going to be a lot of talking. You're going to, whatever, explain all this away. But if we just show you
yeah.
the remains of what's happened to her previous relationships, maybe you'll
Maybe
think
you'll
differently.
think differently. Yeah.
It's so good. Dude, I can't wait till
I
you
like
finish
it.
the season.
Okay.
It's everything escalates.
Okay.
I freaking love this show so much, dude.
It's good, dude. I like it.
But Ray Romano
It's been fun.
as Rick
Yeah.
is so much fun.
It's been
with his
fun.
crazy hair,
Yeah.
his like crazy, like everything about him is just kind of over the top. and
Yeah.
he's almost a cartoon,
Yeah.
which I love so much. He does it so well.
He does.
Chris O'Dowd, like I'd only ever seen him in a couple of things before this.
I'm trying to think of other stuff that I've seen him in.
He was in the IT Crowd, which is an older show,
I haven't seen it.
which is pretty big amongst us nerds. He was in This Is 40.
Oh, okay. I've seen that.
He was one of the music guys at his record label.
Oh, okay.
He's one of his employees. But those are like the two things that come to mind is
Okay.
the IT Crowd and This Is 40. Crushes. Like I love him. The cast is great
Mhm.
all the way through. The writing, the story is fun and funny, and most of it's meant to be ridiculous,
Yeah.
which makes
could
it
tell.
all that much more fun.
Yeah.
He's like you were saying with the Yago stuff. He's like, how is this dude not behind bars
Yeah.
already? And then when everything else, like, just wait till they start filming the movie.
Okay.
Like when they start, like you're gonna be like,
And
oh,
I like how it's being filmed in Las Vegas
yeah, it's meant to be like,
or in Nevada.
yeah, it's in Nevada, in Pahrump, Nevada,
In
which is
Pahrump.
nowhere Nevada. I've
Yeah.
driven through Pahrump. There's nothing there. But and it's meant to look like what was like the mid 17th or 18th century
18th
England.
century England, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Victorian England or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, what?
Yeah. How are you going to do that?
Yeah, or Victorian, I think is mid 19th century. So it's Edwardian. Like, or
How are you
whatever.
gonna make Nevada look like England? I'll find out.
That's the glory of Get Shorty, bro.
Yeah.
Everything's ridiculous and cartoonish in this show.
It's just gonna be like a desert filmed movie. I'm looking forward. I like it so far though. It's been fun.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's so much just fun escapism
Yeah.
because every episode's fun. They've
Every
got
episode is
funny
fun.
beats. They've got some serious beats.
I love the like offbeat jazz drums that are constant through it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I really, really,
Oh,
really
dude, it's
enjoy it.
really well done.
It just makes me so much more complacent with the film or with like watching it with the like it just I really dig it.
You resonating?
I really, really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love everything about that show,
Yeah.
dude. It's so great. I'm so like, I'm hopeful because the show hasn't been canceled, but it's been 4 years and it hasn't been picked back up either.
Yeah.
Like MGM needs to realize what they've got on their hands
Mhm.
with this show, and bring it back for a season. They've got nothing else going on anyway. Like, come on, you bought out
Yeah,
Plex.
it wouldn't hurt.
Like you bought up the small studio that was making this show because it was also a small studio show, and they did a lot with like a pretty minimal budget. Like it's a low budget TV show,
Mm.
and they did a lot of really good stuff with it. And just wait till you see the next two seasons. Like you're only like
scratching the surface.
Yeah, you're a fraction of the way there.
Yeah.
It gets so much funner, and the cast keeps growing. Like, there's so many more faces you haven't seen yet, and just more ridiculous hijinks everyone gets involved with.
Nice.
And none of it's believable. Like, it's all like, dude, if Lulu showed up, broke like the most prestigious writer's finger,
Yeah.
and then stayed there while he finished writing and then left, he wouldn't just quit the show.
He's like right over his shoulder the whole time.
And he just keeps moving his chair closer to watch him. Asking him questions. Well, his pinky's bent the wrong way.
He's like, I really work better in silence. Oh, okay. And then he just right next to him.
Leans in on him. Just a few notes. That's all I need.
Yeah,
Just
Lulu.
a few notes.
I love Lulu.
Just wait, dude. There's so much other good stuff you haven't seen with him. That's just little things that are so genius that, like, any other show, you'd be like, okay, this is kind of boring. Like, let's move on. And with him, he's like, this is so great.
Yeah.
Like, I love everything about this. Yeah, his character's so great.
The more development that you get on his character, the more I like him too.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Yeah, when you start
Like
when you
the
find
whole-
out that he's when you find out that he's a Mormon,
Yeah.
and then you're like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
As they're like chopping up a body.
I thought it was like a bit. Like he was doing the Mormon thing to like hunt somebody down or something, and then you realize that no, he's literally a devout Mormon.
Yeah, no, he's all
Like
in.
living in a Mormon community, going to church. He's got brothers in church.
He's got the Jesus jammies.
Jesus jammies. Yeah, very, very devout Mormon. Like one of my favorite scenes so far has been the one where he's at dinner with the receptionist lady.
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene so much. It was so fun. It was just so funny.
At the restaurant.
So funny.
The one that Miles keeps going back to.
Yeah.
He's like, wasn't this pretentious last time?
Yeah,
I
with
was
the new
here?
chef.
Yeah.
They give out tiny hammers. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that recommendation.
And then what else? I feel like you said you were watching something else
The
recently.
Fall of the House of
Usher.
Usher. I haven't been on top of it lately, but I'm gonna get back into watching it more frequently. It's a good season for it. I've been trying to watch scary movies and stuff.
I've
Watching
taken
a lot of
last
ones
week
that I've
off.
seen before, just to rewatch them and see if there's anything new that I can pull from them. I haven't really picked up anything.
That you looked over.
And
before.
I finished Halloween again, the 2018 one. I really liked it the first time I saw it. But now that I've watched so much horror, like deep dive stuff, I have a like different mindset on horror films, and I look at them differently. And that movie really sucked. Like, just not fun. Not very fun.
I was never a big Halloween
fan,
guy. Like, I think the character's awesome. Like, I like the character. I
Yeah.
like the premise. The few that I've seen, I'm like, yeah, I mean, that was a thing.
I like the original premise. I'm starting to realize that I like John Carpenter's version so much more than anything else that's come after it.
including Zombie.
I like Zombie, but I just like the cinematography of Zombie and the way he directs. Like, I enjoy that. But like, again, I'm sick of origin stories.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of them. I don't need them.
I'm Batman.
I don't know why everybody's got to do an origin for everything now.
I don't know, man. It's
It
played
just-
out.
it's
It's so stupid.
played the
It
fuck
is
out.
the dumbest decision someone could make. Like, I just want. Here's an example. So it's not a great film. I enjoyed it, but it was a lot of build up with like kind of an okay payoff. Have you ever seen Arch Enemy?
No.
So it came out.
I don't
like,
think so.
Like 2
Was that
years
Nick
ago.
Cage?
No.
Okay.
It came out like 2 years ago, I think. Let me pull it up. 2020. Oh, so 4 years ago, 2020. And I love the actors. It's freaking fantastic. Here we go, cast. Because this dude's been in everything. Joe Manganiello,
Oh, okay.
like, dude has been in everything, and he's still ripped. He's definitely on juice, and I don't mean gin and juice.
Yeah, he's juicing.
But he's hilarious. Like, this dude is genuinely fun and fun. Like, I bet I would enjoy a night of drinking with this guy.
Okay.
Like, I think he'd be hilarious. He's been in everything. He was in all the Magic Mikes. He was in True Blood. He was, he was in freaking Spider-Man. I forgot about that. I loved him in How I Met Your Mother. I think he was hilarious in that. But Joe Manganiello plays an alien. Here, I'll read it off. A teen meets a mysterious man who claims he lost his superpowers after arriving from another dimension. Together, they take to the streets to wipe out a vicious crime boss and his local drug syndicate. So, it's pretty simple premise. Really fun movie. Like me and the boys were looking forward to it forever. I think your mom stayed awake for the whole thing. But really fun premise, like good acting and everything. Not an origin story. Like they just jump in, and this dude who's basically a hobo, alcoholic, like full tilt alcoholic. This kid meets him, and they're just like go on this adventure. Like the dude's already been doing his own thing forever. Like it's the beginning of something. Like you're hopping in, so it's the beginning to you, but it's not the beginning of this person. You're just getting to know this person who's very established as whoever the hell they are. And you're trying to decide, like, is he full of shit? Or, like, is he being for real? Is he just a crazy-ass alcoholic who's just out here willing to beat the hell out of drug dealers? So, more of that. Like, it's a low-budget film. It's good. It's not breaking the mold of anything necessarily, but it is fun. That's all you need. You don't need Spider-Man. You don't need Superman. Oh, well, let's reimagine what Krypton looked like before it blew up. No one gives a shit. Yeah. Just hop in. It's Superman. He's a well-established character. He's been around for 75 years. Yeah. Let's just go already. Yeah. Like Batman. Make a Hush story. Hush is one of the best-selling Batman comic series out there, or Death in the Family, or Killing Joke. Let's just hop in and run through the numbers of a successful story. You don't need to go, and then Joe Chill. And I mean, we've gone on about this, but we could go on about it forever.
I watched the dumpster fire that is the Power Rangers film again. Like
I enjoyed it, dude.
Oh my god,
it's so terrible.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's another fucking origin story, though.
Yeah, but it's fair because the Power Rangers wasn't even a freaking show. Like, it was its own show in Japan that this dude was ripping off. And the only time the Power Rangers were the Power Rangers was when they were the teenagers. Yeah. They never once suited up. No. That was always ripping off scenes from a Japanese show, which I love to know. Yeah. Because I grew up loving. Like, I was there the day the first episode dropped. Me and my best friend at the time were watching it. Like, when we were kids, and we're like, this is the best thing ever. Like,
I thought it was a hot dumpster fire.
Dude, it's not great, but I love it. Like I said, it's a terrible movie, but I loved it.
The only redeeming factor was the little robot guy.
Wait, are you talking about the newest one?
The newest one.
Yeah, dude, I enjoyed that.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't. Out of all the movies that you hate, it is so wild to me that Power Rangers is up there in a movie that you like.
Yeah, dude, it was fun.
That's
like,
wild.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't hate it.
I thought I knew you.
Yeah, well, I knew going into it wasn't going to be great.
Yeah.
Just the Power Rangers.
I thought it was going to be good.
Dude, unless they made it R-rated, it was never going to be good.
R-rated Power Rangers would be bitchin'.
Yeah, which is what I was hoping for.
That'd be cool.
Like, but I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't...
This is something we need to get out into the ether.
Dude, I would
Power Rangers?
Love R-rated
That'd be
Power
awesome.
Rangers. Dude, you know how dope that would
With
be?
the old school suits, though.
Yeah.
Make the suits look cool.
Yeah.
The suits look so stupid in the most recent one. They look terrible.
I enjoyed it. Like, it was... I've only ever watched it, I think, once. Like, it's not like I watched it
That's my second time watching it.
I watched it. Was like, that was fun. Like, it was pure escapism. Yeah. Like, it was in the most ridiculous sense of the word.
They had the Mighty Morphin, the animals, which was cool, but it was for, like... You got it for, like, 3 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
You got the intro to the animals, and then they don't do anything with them.
I didn't say it was good.
Another, like, 40 minutes.
I never said it was good.
Yeah.
Let me make that clear. I'll repeat this again. I enjoyed it. It was a terrible movie. Like, nothing about it was great. Yeah. But I did enjoy it. Like, I don't know. It, like, scratched an itch I didn't realize I had. Okay. I was like, damn, I didn't realize I needed something that looked better than all the other movies, because all the other movies were hot garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I loved them when they came out, because I was the age, like, it was me. Like, I was made for me. This is kind of like the Pokemon movies. Like, I was there opening day watching the Pokemon movies. They're not good, but I loved them, and that was my thing.
Did you like Detective Pikachu?
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I think they could have done more with it.
Okay.
And I didn't need the, oh, Ryan Reynolds is my dad and he's Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. Not necessary. Like, if, oh, Ryan Reynolds is also my imaginary friend.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it the whole time. It's like, okay.
The
like,
clown.
yeah, like, fine, I guess. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like there was more to it. Like, could have been more or mo better. But,
Mo better, babe.
yeah, dude. I think that just kind of could have used more Pokemon.
I agree.
Like you've got a Pokemon movie and there's not enough Pokemon. Like you easily could have had an underground fight ring with Machamp and
Yeah.
like you could have had so many dudes just like boxing up all these Earth guys like
Yeah.
really tearing into each other.
And
like
they did Gengar so dirty. He looked so weird.
yeah, and Gengar is such a cool fucking.
I
Pokemon.
agree. That's what I'm
Like-
saying. They did him dirty.
Yeah, dude. Like I wish
Like most of the Pokemon look like they were supposed to. Like they look cool. Like the
The-
Cubone scene was awesome.
Yeah, but it was 2 seconds of
know, it was like 2
Cubone,
seconds
dude.
of
I was like,
Cubone.
are you shit? I
Yeah.
was like, Cubone was the first Pokemon we're gonna be seeing in this
Yeah.
movie, and then it's 2 seconds,
Yeah.
and you're like,
And he's all angry.
oh. Yeah, because he's trying to catch up,
Yeah.
dude. Like Cubone don't stand for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I wish they could have done more. Like
Yeah,
they
I agree.
really could have ramped up it.
I'm with you.
The mime scene was hilarious.
The mime scene was
That is
hilarious.
probably my favorite scene of the whole damn movie.
That was super
So
funny.
he's getting away. Stop him.
When he sets him on fire. Yeah. He pretends sets him on fire.
Yeah. Drops the lighter.
Yeah.
Like that was really fun and creative. Super
Yeah.
cute scene. I enjoyed the movie. I've watched it I think twice, maybe 3 times.
Okay.
Like since it came out.
Yeah. 'Cause you own it, right?
Yeah.
Digital.
I feel like I watched it like a year ago or so. Just kind of because like me and the boys were talking about it a lot, and I was like, oh, I'll watch this. I think I was like cleaning the house, so I was like halfway paying attention to
Mhm.
it. But every time like a fun scene would come on, I'd stop and then I'd watch it. Like
Yeah.
the Jigglypuff thing was overplayed. Like you didn't need 2 minutes of Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
Like yeah, dude, 30 seconds is fine. But yeah, like I think they could have. I
don't even
enjoyed
remember
it.
the Jigglypuff scene.
Yeah, there's like a club they go into, and
Oh, okay.
Jigglypuff's up there singing, and they just like kept walking through
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's like, all right, I get it. Like it's Jigglypuff. It's annoying as hell. Like, yeah, like it was good. Like I enjoyed it. I loved it when it came out, and then I'm like, why couldn't you do more Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like, cause you went for it. You're doing like with live action people. You're doing this big CGI movie, dude. Go whole hog because
Yeah.
they're never gonna do this again.
No.
And for those of us who were there at the beginning of this, like when it became a thing, please go for it because
Yeah.
we're never gonna get another one of these.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever will.
You don't think so?
No, not unless Ryan Reynolds really wants to like rip them off for more money. I don't think they're ever gonna do it. Because I mean, that much CGI has got to be an expensive film
Yeah.
to make, and I didn't realize until that movie came out. Because I mean, I'm a grown man. I didn't know that Detective Pikachu was ever a thing
Yeah.
until that movie came out.
Oh, okay.
The boys had to explain to me, like, oh, it's a game and it's all this other stuff. Like, it's a thing in and of itself. I was like, okay, because I like Pikachu's cool and everything, but he was never the it factor for me.
Okay.
Like, I understand he's like the primary Pokemon, I guess, but there was
The most
always other
powerful one.
yeah, there's always other Pokemon that I like
Yeah.
more. So
I like Mewtwo a lot.
I think Mewtwo was really cool. I liked Mew a lot.
Yeah.
Mewtwo was really cool because he was like an alien.
Yeah.
And then like the only man-made Pokemon and everything.
Yeah.
That was really fun. But I like Snorlax because he's a big heavy boy, likes to sleep
Snorlax,
and eat,
yeah.
dude. Like, yeah, I think like Blastoise could have gotten a really cool scene in there.
Yeah, I only got
like,
a little bit.
like there's Cubone could have got
I like
more
the
love.
Magikarp scene to the Gyarados. It was awesome. Like when he's like it turns into Gyarados and he throws it
Yeah,
and it
it's
just
all-
flops on the ground. I thought that was fun.
I think a fun scene could have been like using a. Now I'm trying to remember all the names of them because Catabri turns into the green shell, and all he does is harden.
Oh, okay.
What is? I'm trying to remember the
I
name
can't
of
remember his name.
It's the second stage of both. Damn it, because Catabri. I think Catabri or is it Caterpie's the first stage is the as the worm. Dude, it's been so long since I've talked about any of these characters. I'm probably even saying them wrong. But it's just it's the cocoon stage
Yeah.
of both the
I know what
butterfly
you're
and
talking
the
about.
bee.
Yeah.
And all they do is harden.
Okay.
That's their only move. Like, and it always sucked when you were in a battle, like on the Game Boy game, and you're playing, and then that's one of your guys, and you're like, harden. Like, you can't do shit. You're just like taking damage, harden. Like, you're like, well, I'm gonna lose this one now because
Yeah.
my freaking Bulbasaur got all busted up, so I've just got this guy harden. It starts with a K. Like, damn it. Let's see. Butterfly, Pokemon. Yeah, Butterfree.
Butterfree.
And his
Do Butterfree
evolution,
evolution, yeah.
Metapod,
Metapod.
which evolves from Caterpie. So Caterpie. But yeah, when you're in Metapod, you're just harden.
Either somebody purposely did that and made it sound like Metapause, or didn't
Yeah, dude,
realize that it was
Metapod.
that close. Yeah.
Here's that guy.
And all you do is
he's-
harden.
That's all you can do. Is harden up your shell. And then there's the bee, Weedle. Is it Weedle?
Weedle.
And then Kakuna. Yeah, I was like, I know it starts with a K, and he's got the yellow guy, and all he can do is harden. It's like,
That's funny.
this is bullshit. And then, but then he gets to turn into Beedrill, and he's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I was all about these games. I was all about the cards. I was all about the cartoon. I was all in on Pokemon. That was my time. And then, like, all the other Pokemon stuff started coming out, and I lost all interest. I'm of the original.
Yeah.
That's it. Once I got into, like...
Gen 1?
Yep. Once I got into, what did they call it? Was it Evolution or whatever? I don't know. It's where you get a bunch more Pokemon and all the other crap. The boys talk about them all the time. Like, oh, I got this guy. And I'm like, I don't know who the hell that is.
Yeah.
Like, that's not my world, dude. That's yours. But they continued on collecting cards forever. I don't even know if I still have my card collection, but I had a pretty solid collection for a long time. I don't know if I still do or not, but yeah, dude, I'm all about the original 151. I feel like I've watched something. I've just been kind of half-ass rewatching all the Mission Impossible movies
I've been seeing that.
because they're fun.
Yeah.
Like, and I watch them typically
Well, we
at least
talked
once a
about 'em.
year.
Well,
Yeah.
when we talked about spy movies,
Yep.
brought them up.
Well, I think we've talked about them a couple of times.
Yeah, we
but
have.
Yeah, it's been rewatching those half-ass. I mean, I haven't had any signal where I've been working for like the last week and a half, so I don't get to watch much of anything.
Yeah.
But I did download a couple of them on my phone, so I've been able to kind of listen to them while I'm up there working. So yeah, that's kind of it. Like, I don't think I've really watched anything else. Just been watching a lot of Kevin Talbert RC.
Yeah.
Watching more
I know,
RC
yeah.
stuff, dude.
Now you got me into it.
Yeah. So like we were playing with RC. We were playing with the Rock Crawler a little bit last
that
night.
was fun.
I need batteries for the big guy. And at some point I think I'm going to, I just don't remember if they're at my dad's house still. I think they are. But they might be out in the shed. I have to dig through it. All my old kits and start bringing out the old cars and start building those. Because I've got a kit that I've still never built.
Oh, really?
And it's a full build car. Like that video we were watching last night.
Yeah.
I was like, now I got to build it. And I've only got 5 hours before I have to race it.
Yeah.
And then immediately broke it.
Yeah.
Um,
Crashed it into a wall.
yeah. I've got one called the Hot Shot 2. And it's a redo of an original Tamiya car that my dad has the original of that he bought brand new back in the day. And these things were like $600 back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And so he was buying a bunch, but he had one called the Pumpkin. And he spent weeks building this car.
Mm.
It's a big 4x4 truck. And I think right after he finished building it, I'll have to have him tell me the story tomorrow. And then I'll refresh the story because it's kind of a shitty story. But he spends weeks building this car after purchasing it. And his brother was like, "Oh man, let me try it out." And he's like, "Okay," and immediately wrecks it, and
Oh,
totals it,
no.
like it gets run over by a car.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so he never even got to drive this brand new thing that he just spent 2 weeks of his time
No.
building and got smooshed. Another one is when he got into airplanes, because he still has, as far as I know, he still has a couple of planes, like, and they're pretty bomb ass planes. I want to, if he still has the one, I definitely want to talk him out of it, because the whole underside is all the Arizona flag.
Oh, cool.
So I'd like to have that hanging right here. But he had 2 of these things hanging up in our living room till our house burned down. And then, but I know the plane survived, and I think they're hanging up in one of his workshops. But he built these planes, and he went out, and this guy was like, we used to go out in the field, and there's all kinds of hobby RC guys out there, kind of like we were watching. There'd be like 20 or 30 different people running cars and planes and 4x4s and stuff. And my dad got to know a couple of these guys pretty good. And then one guy was always out there flying planes. And he's like, "Yeah, I've been wanting to get into planes too." He's like, "Oh man, get a plane. I'll teach you how to fly it." He's like, "All right, cool." So he gets a plane. And he's teaching him how to fly it, and then wrecks my dad's brand new plane. And he's like, another thing he never got to fly. Like, so he's like, "I'm done. Like, someone just wrecked my brand new expensive ass RC. Like, I'm done." So he's like had the most terrible luck of other people flying his stuff into the ground or getting run over.
Poor guy.
Yeah, having
sucks.
twice, dude.
Yeah, that
having a
sucks.
brand new truck and a brand new plane.
That sucks.
Someone else demoed
Crashing
him for
yeah,
him.
that's
So-
wild.
So
What are the chances?
yeah, so he kind of was like, "I think I'm done wasting money letting someone else destroy my shit."
Yeah.
But he had a bunch of other cars. He just never let anyone else drive his cars. He flew his planes a little bit, like he got into flying them, but he just never let anyone else touch the
Yeah.
remote. But he's got some old school cars, and he gave them to me. But I think they're all still at my old shed at his property. He's got one called the Frog, and that thing was awesome. I ran that for a while, like when I got back into RCs. I think Richter was like 1 or 2, so it's quite a while ago now. It was like 15 years ago. But I busted out the Frog when I was helping my then brother-in-law rebuild his low C gas powered.
Yeah.
I brought my Frog out, and I was hopping it up, putting bigger battery packs in it and stuff. But it's running old school servos,
Really?
and they're these like contact servos, like the old school slot track cars, where it's all about just metal touching electrocuted metal.
Oh, okay.
So they're like these big X's, and you've got this open winding of electricity, and this copper on your servo just runs across it with energy, and that's how it juices up.
Okay.
Antique level stuff.
That's what it sounds like.
And these cars were still running those servos.
Oh, wow.
So then I started losing servos, and they were like, "Yeah, can't really buy those anymore." And I was like, "Damn it!" So I kind of stopped running those cars. But then he has the Hot Shot, the original one, so I'd run that too, and big 4x4, about the same size as the one I'm running now, maybe just a hair smaller. But one year they re-released that car. They called it the Hot Shot 2, slightly more modern stuff, and he bought me the kit, and I never had time to put it together, so it's still unbuilt.
Yeah.
But I want to dig that out. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I'm like, man, I need to dig that thing out, build it, and put all modern equipment in it.
That'd be cool.
And then rip a car that was designed in like the early 80s.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
With all modern servos and batteries and everything.
Yeah.
And just have that thing freaking smoke.
Yeah.
So
That'd be cool.
I've got a couple of old. I think I've got like 4 old Tamayas that I used to run, and they were always fun. And even just running modern like 7.4 battery packs and their antique motors and antique servos, it'd still do like 30 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
On these little bitty flat ripped up tires. Like I had to buy tires for them, and those were kind of a pain to find that would fit the car without catching body or anything. But yeah, they'd leap. They do jumps and everything. The shocks were half the size of that one. So I would really modernize the hell out of these RCs.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But it'd be a lot of fun to rip those things around. I'm really hooked now. Dude, I want a plane. I've got nowhere to fly it. Like, because we have big trees and power lines around here, and then a lot of cars, so it's not like I'd have a good runway.
Yeah.
But I really want a freaking plane.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And I think the next one that I buy is I'm going to buy. It's called the Micro Bee from I think it was a Losi.
Why don't you get into helicopters?
I've had them.
I have too.
I've had a lot of them.
I used to
love
work at
them.
I used to work at an RC helicopter kiosk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was a fucking professional with those things, dude. I could land them anywhere.
Me too. I've had lots of them. I've had all different sizes of them
Yeah,
and
I used to
different
play with all
brands.
kinds.
And the thing we used to do, like back when I first got into those, I'd go over to my dad's house and we'd fly and we'd play war.
Okay.
So with those, the fun thing about these, like the ones that are, what are they, like 10 inches long or whatever, like that big. They got like 6-inch props on them.
Yeah.
You'd start off flying, right? And you'd start flying around a room. And we do this indoors primarily. But you'd be flying around and you try to get to fly directly over top of the other guy. Because if you get over them, it throws off their entire air movement and they just dump to the ground.
Yeah.
So you just knock dudes out of the sky. So we would do that all the time. We'd buy like, because back
My
then when
brother
they
would
first
do that.
came out, they came in 2-packs. So we'd like go in on 2-packs. And we bought a bunch of them, man. We burned through helicopters. But you typically wouldn't total them when you landed.
Yeah.
Because half the time you'd catch yourself before you hit the ground, you'd come back up, and then you just mid-air combat. And it turned into like a pretty crazy ordeal where we'd get like 4 or 5 people involved.
Nice.
Flying all these helicopters trying to knock each other out of the air.
That's awesome.
That was fun. I love helicopters.
Yeah, they're fun.
But a plane, bro, it's higher stakes.
Yeah.
And watching other people fly planes, I'm like, oh, I want to fly a plane.
Yeah.
I would total the plane. I'm sure of it. But there's big fields over here that have nothing around them that I could definitely fly.
You could also do
plane in.
Silverbow Lake. They have a runway.
Yep.
And a helicopter pad.
But every time I go there, we're always running boats and trucks.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I don't know, dude, because there's certain areas over there that if you lose it on the other side of a fence, you're kind of hosed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll get to it at some point. I know I will because I become like an addict that way. Once my mind's on something, I don't stop until I get it. But right now, there's this Micro Bee that's only like this big, and I want that thing to just rip around the house.
Yeah.
Because the rock crawler, I mean, it's fast for a rock crawler.
Yeah.
But I got that just to build little tracks and stuff around here and just rip around.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I want a little speed demon because I still have them, but they're harder and harder to find parts for. But I've got X mods. Did you ever have an X mod, or do you know what that is?
That sounds familiar.
I'll dig them out. They're kits. The car winds up being about that big, and they were all the rage when Radio Shack was still a thing.
Okay.
They were a Radio Shack brand.
Okay.
So when Radio Shack died,
They
X
died.
mods died. But I've got it was originally a Camaro, and I've got the Camaro body, and then I've got a Supra body, and then what was the second one? Was originally, I think that one was originally a Mustang, and I think I put the Supra body on the Mustang. So I've got the Camaro and the Supra.
Okay.
But they started building like H2 Hummers, like they started building pickup trucks.
Oh, I saw the new Hummer today.
Like the electric one.
Yeah.
I've seen a few.
Fucking huge, dude.
They're big.
They're so big.
They are big.
I was like,
big.
my mom was like, "What the hell is that?" And I was like, "That's the new Hummer." And she was like, "Jeez." And I was
All
like,
electric.
"That thing is fucking big, dude. For a Hummer, that's huge."
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy shit!"
Ridiculous truck.
It's so big.
And
The
all electric.
the fifth wheel on the back looks so small on it because of how
wide it is.
it was so. I was so surprised at how massive it was.
I've seen a few of them on the freeway.
Yeah, that was wild, dude. I was like, "Holy shit, that thing is big."
Yeah, it's a ridiculous
It's
truck.
no joke, dude. It's
and this is
huge.
coming from a guy who only gets just over 9 miles per gallon in a supercharged Suburban.
Yeah,
And
it's a big truck.
that big ass Hummer is ridiculous.
It's big.
Overkill.
It's huge. It's so much bigger than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it's bigger than it needs to
Sorry,
be.
so you brought up H2, and it made me think of it.
Yeah.
And then we saw an H2 today too that the license plate was Love Beef. LUVBEEF. My mom was like, "Are they cattle ranchers?" I was like, "I don't know, maybe," because they had a Longhorn sticker on the back of it too. But
What was the plate? Where was the plate? Texas or Arizona?
Arizona,
Probably not a cattle rancher then.
I don't know, but they love beef.
It's probably like a low level underground rapper
Love beef.
that loves beef. That's funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, dude. So these X mods though, like you have so many different upgrade parts you could buy
Okay.
from them. There was a motor pack that you could buy 4 different levels of motor. So you start with your stock one that were okay, but then each motor would like crank out way more bottom end or way more top end or kind of a balanced. So you had these little motor packs, and they'd come with different gear ratios and different RPMs on the motors, different body kits. You could buy just bodies, which is why I've got a Supra, because the Mark II Supra is like one of the coolest cars in the world to me.
I agree.
And so I bought this Mark II Supra body, and they come with different ground effects, so you can do mild or like insane. Same thing with like the Camaro. The Camaro came with 3 different types of side skirts. You had just the stock roll pans, the extended skirts, and then skirts with side pipes.
Oh,
So mine had
nice.
side pipes. And you got like the stock hood or a cowl hood, 2 different like wings, and then you get different rims. So like you could really mod out this little
Yeah.
car, and then you can go buy different rim kits, You can buy lighting kits for them. You could buy so much stuff for these
Oh,
things.
that's cool.
But like, dude, on eBay, I'm kind of curious now what they'd be worth like on eBay. Probably not a lot, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they were worth a crap ton. But they're harder and harder to find parts that still work for these cars. So this is, that's the more modern Ford. Oh, $65. That's the same cost, same price as when they were brand new. No, these are all like off-brand things. I want to find an actual X mod. Here we go. eBay. Vintage X mods. Acura Honda NSX yellow RC car starter kit. $160.
Oh, okay.
Like, but there's your little rolling chassis with your motor and everything.
Yeah.
Your suspension. These things are so much freaking fun. And they're
You've got a couple?
Yeah, I got a couple of them. And so, yeah, here's your little motor kit I was talking about with 4 different motors.
Oh, cool.
Your stage 2 motor upgrade for different things. Dude, $15 is cheaper than it was when they were brand new. There's a rolling chassis. So that's a Gen 2 rolling chassis. Yeah, these things are fun, dude. I wish they were still a thing. Like, I wish someone else like bought them and continued having them be a thing. A G35? Damn, dude. Ooh, check you out, little G-Ride. Yeah, I always wanted the Corvette body. Just never bought it. Yeah, it's still a Gen 1. Yeah, they come with a little miniature hot rod magazine.
Oh, cool.
These were fun, man. Like, they were so cool. Once I got mine, all my buddies started buying them up.
Really?
And we'd start racing. I've also got that's what it was. I've also got I don't think I still have the Ford Mustang body. I think my buddy wanted it. And I traded him for a WRX body. So I've got a WRX body also. Let's see. X-Mods Infinity G35, Corvette. Some of these are really cheap, dude. You could buy one for like super cheap and then go ripping around with a little X-Mod. Yeah, they finally started coming out with pickups with the Gen 2, and then they went out of business.
Oh, that sucks.
Because they were owned by
Radio
Shack. So when they went under, everything went under. Let's see, RC mods. So let's go X mods. Camaro. I don't feel like digging mine out right now, so I'll just show you pictures.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh, cool.
Just like a little bone stock. So there's your rally rims, your bone stock body, the rolling chassis. Yep, I still have that little magazine. Oh, this doesn't show all the upgrades though. This is just showing the bone stock body. Did they not have all the bits and pieces? Here we go. There's a picture with, nope, that's the stupid G-Ride. The bubble car. Here we go. So you got the cowl hood, different rims. You got the side pipes on there.
Oh, cool.
You got the little spoiler. Oh, they got some like beefy tires on this bad boy. Yep, the lighting kit. I've got a headlight kit on mine. So it's got headlights and taillights, kind of
Nice.
like the crawler.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one, $160. That's kind of
Jeez.
surprising.
It's steep.
See, I still have most of my decals because I did put a few decals on the Camaro just to make it look like it had been running some stuff. But yeah, dude, these things are like not much bigger than my phone,
Oh wow,
and they'd rip.
that's awesome.
Like I had a concrete slab at the house I had when I got these, and it's like pretty big slab,
Yeah.
like a little bigger than this, and I just go out there and just spin it, dude. Every once in a while, me and my buddies would also like, because you could buy foam tires for drifting.
Okay.
So you get these foam tires, and you'd set up like tape all around your house for little tracks.
Yeah.
And we just ran because
That's
they
awesome.
take up way less space, dude. Again,
'Cause
it's
they're small.
It's not much bigger than that.
Yeah.
And you're just whipping this bad boy around your buddy's house.
Yeah.
Drifting and just bashing into stuff. And like they're fast, but they weren't really fast enough to break anything if you
Okay.
impacted. Like you can, you might pop it up or whatever. Occasionally, your buddy would bump you on, and roll you over, but it's kind of rare.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't really go over rocks or anything. Like I couldn't get onto your phone,
Okay.
like trying to run over it. Like your ground clearance is garbage. Your suspension, I mean, the springs are that tall,
Yeah.
and there's not a lot of play in them, but your ground clearance is nothing.
Okay.
Like I think 3/8 of an inch might be kind of
Pushing it.
pushing it for ground clearance from the bottom of your tub, because
That's
your
funny.
tub's flat too.
Yeah.
So it's not like you've got this big ground clearance section. And you could do upgraded suspension, but it wasn't anything worth calling
Yeah.
home about, But they were just super fun. They were mostly an indoor car. Like they were meant to just rip around in your house where you're just chilling, and it's raining out. You can't go outside. Just have an RC car.
Yeah.
Did you ever have one of the little ones?
Yeah. The little micro ones.
Yeah, that you plug into the remote.
Yeah.
Dude, we used to, when those
Those
came
are
out,
fun.
they're like the size of Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
When those first came out, everyone got them. And I think was it like junior high or high school?
Me and my brother had them.
Dude, everyone had them.
Yeah.
So you would have like 30 cars running
Yeah.
around a
They
classroom.
had the big controller, and they would plug into the controller.
Yeah, the ones we were getting, these ones with the remotes only like that big.
Oh, okay.
And you had this like little flip down clear cover
Yeah.
that you could lock the car onto
Yeah.
and lock it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
But the remote's not like this big, so we'd all be wearing hoodies, and you'd have the remote, and you just be like ripping the car around the classroom, trying to be all like trying not to rip it so it wouldn't be too loud.
Yeah.
But then eventually everyone would bust out their cars, and dude, there was like 6 months where every classroom was just
with
plagued
cars.
like locusts, dude.
That's
Just
awesome.
these little just bashing into stuff. Teachers were like confiscating cars.
That's
Those
funny.
were fun, man. I
That's
wish I wish someone would bring back like a really good version of those.
Yeah.
Just little
A
bitty
little
RCs.
micro RC car. Yeah.
Because I found a guy that I haven't bought one yet, because I need to find some reviews to see if they're actually worth it. But this dude claims that you buy this kit and you can turn any Hot Wheel into an RC car. So you can like take the Hot Wheel body off. So
That
basically
sounds
just
cool.
destroy a Hot Wheel, basically.
Yeah.
Pop the rivets, take the body off, and it'll go right on top of this little kit that you can buy. You build it. So it's a kit you order online, and you build this little drift car, and then you can put any Hot Wheel body you want on it
That sounds awesome.
and turn your Hot Wheel into a little drift car.
That'd be cool.
It would be really cool.
That drift van.
He has
the
very limited videos on what he's got, though.
the square body van that I got you would be a fucking super sweet one.
Yeah, it would.
To have as a little drift car.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, the one's got Mattel all over
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that would be really
be
cool. Now you're just thinking about that RC van from last night.
Yeah, I am.
So this guy, Kevin Talbert, this British guy, his entire world is RC cars.
Entire world.
And a monster truck that he built. But he sells RC parts on eBay, and that's how you got most of his. That's how we got to start. Now I'm sure he gets some money from YouTube. But he's got all of his friends are also RC people. And they run all these drift races. That there's a whole hobby town, which sucks because those things don't seem to last long here in Tucson,
No.
dude. but they've got this big indoor drift course, and he just built a new drift car.
The one in the Tucson Mall just shut down recently.
Yeah, dude. Like
Daniel
it wasn't.
was telling me about it.
Yeah, it was only here for a couple
2
of years.
Yeah.
Like I never even got to go in there.
Yeah.
I walked right past it an awful lot to go to the speakeasy right across the way, into a short rest. But I don't
Long rest.
short rest
Was it
tavern.
Rest? All right, I thought it was long rest.
No, short rest tavern.
Short rest.
In I can never remember the store that it's in.
Yeah, I know, I
But
can't
Short
remember
Rest
either,
Tavern
yeah.
was a speakeasy
We
in
used
the
to-
back of a
I used
nerd
to go-
store.
I used to go drink there after work at Spencer's.
Yeah, we used to go there every Friday for
Trivia?
night, and then almost got into a fight there one night with a kid. I don't know, he's probably 19, and guilt is the only reason I didn't punch him in the face. I was like, oh, I'd kill this guy, because it was not long before the wedding, and so I just gotten a new kilt because I'm Scottish. I wear kilts. So I just got a new kilt, and your mom was like, "Let's go trivia night." It's okay. She's like, "No, wear your new kilt." She wanted me to wear the kilt, so I wore it. We go there, and we're hanging out and having a good time. And as we're leaving, this couple of I mean, they were clearly 21 because you have to be 21 to be there. So they were like 21, 22, like college kids were walking by, and they were leaving also. And you have to walk out the hallway to get back out into the main store. And the one guy comes by, he goes, "Nice dress." And I turned and look at him, and I was immediately pissed and bowed up on him. And his buddy was like, "Dude, that's a kilt. Apologize." And the guy's like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry." And then they kept walking, and I was like, "Motherfucker!" Like he was trying to be funny because he clearly had a buzz going and thought he was, and he was like, didn't realize there are people that exist that will punch you in the mouth, and like he's just been skating by on talking shit and walking away. And I was like, "Dude, this is a small hallway, dude, and I'm a big guy. I'll take you out." But and his buddy was like, "Dude, that's a kilt. You might want to apologize." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So I was like, "Fucker, dude. Like, I was having a good time." And you start talking some shit and then walk away. I was like, "Whatever, dude." So then I made it a point to every time we ever went there, I was only ever wearing my kilt.
Nice.
I was like, I hope these kids show up again, say something. But yeah, dude, I walked past that place all the time. I never went in. And then I've heard now about how expensive some of those cars are.
Yeah.
And there was no point in me going in there because
Yeah,
I
they were
was
pricey.
not spending that kind of money. But I also wouldn't want to rent a drift car to go in there and play around. Like I'd
It was
want
only
to
like $20 to rent.
I know, but I would want to own a car to go in there and drift around. What's up, Holmes? Huh?
They want me to come in early, so.
Are you wearing these to work?
His Aladdin pants with Jasmine
I
on
know,
his
I saw
hoodie.
that,
At
Ironic,
least,
isn't it?
Hood
At least it-
Jasmine.
at least it makes sense. Well, he's wearing Aladdin's pants.
Yeah.
Find yourself a beautiful princess. All right, buddy. Love you.
Love you.
Have fun.
Will do.
Later, bud.
Man, all the boys.
During work, I wear them to and from work. I got my own uniform in my locker.
How much stuff you got in here?
All the stuff. His little foldy phone.
Wallet, keys, some candy gum.
All the important things.
Later, dude.
All right, bud. Have fun. Love you.
You too.
Look at that. Everyone's made a cameo except for Ma.
Yeah. She's the only one.
Yep. She's always like, "I've been working all day. I don't look good enough." Like she's always got some excuse.
Yeah.
Like right now, she can't really sit down in this position for too long without
No.
her back killing her.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
she's all busted up
Yep.
because she won't just relax.
She's moving around a lot better now, though.
yeah.
So that's at least some positive.
She'd be working. She'd be
silver
moving
lining.
better if she would stop doing everything.
Yeah, she would.
But she doesn't listen.
Nope.
Because she's a lady.
Nope. She does not listen.
Ladies don't listen.
I like that tavern, though. That was a lot of fun. I used to go there after work when I worked at Spencer's because it was right across.
That's a great place, dude.
Right next to it, yeah.
Like great people.
We'd go in there and hang out, have a couple meads.
Yep.
Chill.
Yeah, they would always set meat aside for me, but it helped that I knew the person who was selling them their
Oh,
meat
cool.
because your
Oh, and
mom
then
sold
speaking
them
of the
half
RC
their
track,
meats.
I think I told you this. I became pretty good friends with the owner.
Yeah, the dude that had like way too much money into his RC.
Yeah, way too much money into his RC. Like treated it like it was a real car.
Yeah,
Did everything you could possibly do to it.
What do you drive? An Acura?
Yeah,
It's this big one. See
it's
it?
this big one. His was a E30. You would've
Oh,
liked
was it?
Yeah, you would have liked
I
it.
freaking love
It was
E30s.
blue and white, two-tone.
Ooh, God, I love E30s.
Yeah.
They're so pretty.
I didn't like the paint job just because it was like it didn't look realistic like on a car. Like the back half was blue and then the front half was white. I mean, it looked cool
It just didn't make
for a
sense.
nice, but it didn't make like he put so much money into the car.
Yeah,
I was
why
like,
not get a
wouldn't
good
you-
paint
why wouldn't
job?
you get like a gnarly, nice paint job? Yeah. But there was a couple. There was a drift van. There was a Suburban there. There was a drift Suburban on an extended chassis. It was pretty sweet.
That'd be pretty rad.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'm a sucker for Suburbans.
Yeah, it was red and white.
Long body trucks are my
Yeah,
thing, dude.
It was cool. Or it was like shaker orange and white.
Oh yeah, nice.
But it was extended chassis. And it was a big car. It was probably about this big. And he would drift it around on the little drift track. It was pretty cool.
Every
And then
time
they
I
had
was
a,
going
they had
by,
a crawling section too.
I saw it like in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah. If I'd have known about that, I probably would have taken my crawler over there.
yeah.
But they don't have like a. They didn't. There's only ever been 2 places that had like basher tracks where I could have taken my big truck,
yeah.
and they closed the one I bought that truck and the boys' trucks from.
Hobby Lobby, right?
Right after them. No, that was no Hobby Lobby's a completely different thing.
What am I thinking of? Hobbytown. There
Hobby
used to
Town.
be-
It used to be Hobby
used to be
Town by
Hobbytown with a track, right?
yeah. Hobby
Yeah.
Town was one, and they had the indoor track.
Yeah. My dad used to take us there. we
Um,
never got to drive the cars.
Yeah, my buddy used to go there, and he was like really big in the circuit, so he'd race there. So I'd go there and hang out. I ran a few cars around there. They had it was a really good track, really big.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah, now it's like a car
I remember.
mechanic.
I remember it being big.
Yeah,
I
it-
was.
it was
really
big.
little. when I
The
was
store
there.
was fairly small.
Yeah.
but the track was big.
Yeah.
like they dedicated most of their square footage to track.
to track.
They carried a lot though, and
Yeah.
they carried a really nice variety because they carried old school RC10s, which is like a really old school. It's like one of the original big 4x4s. They carried the Savage when it first came out. They carried all the Tamiya cars, and you could order like old school stuff.
Mhm.
So I managed to order some old school parts for my old Tamiyas. But yeah, dude, their track was big especially for that part of
Yeah.
town. Like their indoor track was huge. But then you had the one right by Bashful Bandit. That's whatever the hell it
Never
is
been to
now.
that one.
I used to go buy a lot of stuff there. But that's where I bought the last 3 Traxxas trucks I bought there.
Oh, okay.
And then I went back to buy more parts, and like a week after Christmas, and I was like, this place is empty.
Yeah.
And then and I started looking at all, like I actually start paying attention, and there's little pieces of paper printed, posted up everywhere. Like everything was on like 80% clearance
Oh,
sale.
wow.
Like everything's got to go.
Going out of business.
They were retiring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they sold their property because they owned the property. Yeah, like some pretty primo property right there off Speedway, and we're retiring. And I was like, you didn't want to like give it over to the kids? They're like, no, they wanted to cash in. They'd own it for like 40 years. Like, no,
Wow.
they wanted to cash in and retire. So that sucked. If I'd have known that they were doing that, I would have waited, and like I still would have bought the boys their trucks.
Yeah.
But I would have waited to buy mine, and I would have gone there like the first day of their sale, and I would have bought so much stuff,
Yeah.
dude. Because I was like rolling in dough at the time, and I would have bought an X-Max then
Yeah.
for way cheaper.
Yeah.
And I would have bought so many like because I bought a bunch of really good like spare servos that are way better than the Traxxas servos I'm running.
Really.
I think I'm running one of the nicer servos in there. I don't remember which one it is. I'd have to open up the truck to see. But I bought 3 old chassis full of parts, and that's when I got my first brushless motor and ESC, but the ESC wound up being bad. So I've got the motor. So then that's when I just said screw it, bit the bullet, and the only new parts on that truck for a long time were my Castle and Sidewinder, ESC and motor. And then I eventually started buying like all the aluminum suspension parts just to handle the bashing because I'm hard on that truck. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I built that truck to take a beating. That's the whole reason I got it.
Yeah.
So I bash hard. Like the other trucks and all the other cars I've got, I take care of. I'm not beating the piss out of them. That thing, I was like, here we go. That's why I threw a monster livery on it.
Yeah.
I was like, you're taking a beating, dude.
Yeah.
So like Daniel's never near as rough on his, and he's got the same truck as me. He's not running all the same parts. Like he's not running brushless. He's still got the stock Traxxas motor and ESC in it. He's up geared a little bit, and he might have a few aftermarket parts that I gave him, but otherwise his is a bone stock truck, and it's not near as fast as mine, but it's just as much fun. But because it's not as fast, it wasn't as likely to break suspension parts and everything. Because like with I think I told you, but when I finished putting that truck together for the first time, we went to leave, and I goosed it a little bit. I finally had it running right, and I goosed it and caught
Into a
the
door
edge of the
frame.
back tire, and all it did was catch the edge of the tire on the door frame. It was like clink and ripped the entire back half of the chassis out. I still have the old chassis. I'll show you one of these days. I'll dig it out so you can see the whole back of it's all ripped off. So I was like, well, guess we're not playing with mine. I was like, that's okay. We'll wait for yours. So we went back in, spent like 2 hours rebuilding a whole new chassis.
Nice.
So I'm like, well, I'm glad I bought 3 of these.
Yeah.
But that one had a crack in it I didn't notice.
Yeah.
And it just, because the cool thing about these trucks, I'm a Traxxas guy, but the cool thing about them is how easy it is to rip out, like to properly remove the entire rear assembly and the entire front assembly. Like you can strip that thing down to just a tub pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I know that some of Talbert's stuff is a little bit more insane and more intense.
Yeah.
But he's got like every model of RC car you can think of,
I know.
dude. Like that guy,
It's wild.
I think that's his.
You put
basement.
it really well. I wish I could dedicate my life to one hobby.
Yeah, I wish I could, because I don't have that in me. I'm such a varied person.
Yeah.
Like every time someone asks, like, "Oh, what's your podcast about?" I'm like, I don't know. We just go sit down and start talking. Like so far, all the videos primarily have been about talking about movies and TV shows, but it's whatever comes up, comes up. Like I like so many things, it becomes difficult to pick a hobby to stick to.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I love this, but I also want to learn about this, and I get into something else, and I kind of bounce back and forth. I go in like different modes. I'm like, okay, I'm in this mode right now. This mode is epoxy, and then I spend 3 months only doing epoxy.
Yeah.
As soon as I get home, I'm doing epoxy. I do it until I go to sleep, and then once that is kind of done, I'm like, okay, what's the next project I'm gonna do? And then I just kind of keep doing different things. But when I'm on something, I am all in on that one thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a problem. Like, but it's a problem I don't know how to solve. Like, I just ignore doing something new that I want to do that's cool. I have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
And then your mom is like the most like cheerful cheerleader. That when I'm like, hey, I kind of want to do this. Like, I run it. Like, I kind of just throw something out and see how she responds. And if she doesn't seem interested, then I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just move on to something else.
Yeah.
But if she's like, well, that'd be cool. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of, and then it starts to become a conversation. And then once she's on board, I just go full
tilt.
psycho, dude.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's like, I mean, you were here for the table.
Mhm.
Like, you saw how many, like I was staying up to like 2 a.m. sometimes working on that table. I go kind of crazy like this. I was like, I'm gonna start a podcast. And she was like, that'd be really cool. And then now look at all the stuff I have. Like, I kind of throw myself fully at something. And I think I'd be farther, I know I'd be a lot farther along in one thing if all of that energy was directed.
dedicated to one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, with anything, that's how it works. Yeah.
yeah, but I sadly don't have that
Yeah.
in me.
No, I get it.
I like too much. It's
Yeah.
kind of a nightmare. So when I watch someone like him, I'm like, dude, it'd be so dope to just be content with that one thing
Yeah.
and just let yourself be consumed by it
Yeah.
all the time
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
Like, I go through phases of things. I'm like, all right, cool. This was a lot of fun. Like, I would still be doing RC if it wasn't so damn expensive.
Yeah.
Like, and which is why I never got into gas. Gas is way more expensive.
Yeah.
And it's way more time consuming. And I mean, you've now watched some videos of those gas. Like, you wreck them out, and you're like, crap. You got all these linkages and all these. I don't want to deal with that. One of my full size car breaks, I already have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with a small one too. But batteries, dude, batteries are so freaking pricey. And if I get into lipo, the lipo batteries are way cheaper, but the charger's way more expensive.
Mhm.
So like I was looking into this one series of lipo the other day because he kept bringing them up. And I was like, all right, what's that about? And Horizon Hobby has them, and the batteries are only like $30 for like 3S, 4S lipo batteries. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty freaking reasonable.
Yeah.
It's $70 for one of my 7-cell Traxxas batteries that are still NiCad and will brick up if you have any charge on them when you leave them in the car or like when you're done using them. And they're really difficult to bring back to life. Like lipo, way better, doesn't have those problems and puts out way more power. But the charger was like $240
Oh wow,
for just the charger,
that's wild.
and then it's like $30 a battery after that. It's like, damn, dude, I gotta spend like $300 just to get the charger and a couple batteries.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of an investment. So I don't know. At some point, I'll circle back to RCs,
Yeah.
but I need Trump back in the White House so I can afford life again, and then I can have those hobbies.
Yeah.
Because like right now, like I already have firearms. Those are really expensive, and they eat really expensive rounds, and RCs are expensive, and then computer things are friggin' not cheap.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, dude. It'll come around.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the things that I was really paying attention to when watching all this stuff, especially when you see how many RCs he has. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I would have so many RCs if I was dedicated to that. It's like golfers, like true golfers own
Yeah.
so many golf clubs.
Yeah.
Like, clearly I'm a tool guy because I have so many freaking tools. Like, I've got tools that I bought and still haven't used.
Really.
But I'm like, that's such a good deal. I'm going to need that so many times. And I'm like, well, I haven't needed it yet, but I have it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's all I can think of for now.
For RC.
So it's been a long week, dude. I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
Yep. I've watched very little this week, so I don't have a lot of TV shows or movies to talk about.
Yeah. I'm sad we didn't watch The Penguin tonight.
I saw 2 episodes. I was like, crap. If I watch both of those, I'm going to be lucky to stay awake through the second one.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't throw it on. And then watch Tim Pool cry like a girl for a little while because
Yeah.
nothing's going right for him. He's, it's like, dude, fire your friends, hire professionals, hire IT, continue making money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you heard some of the money he's talking about making per episode.
Kind of.
Like, he was getting like 50 grand a month,
Oh wow.
and that's like an average or minimum pay that he's making a month.
Wow.
Do you imagine making 50 grand a month?
That'd be cool.
And he's talking about stopping all that because he's having IT problems and employee problems.
Sounds like he's just crying.
Like, fire your friends because they clearly don't give a shit about your journey in making this thing better. Hire employees who aren't your friends. You can be friendly and you can become friends, but you need to hire people that are on the same goal. Like, they want to make good money and they want to make you successful so that they can make more money. Right now, he's like, they're just doing the minimum. Like, they're doing enough, and that's it. It's like, yeah, dude, they don't care. Like, you're paying them a shit ton of money, and you're not riding them like a boss. Be a boss. Don't shut down your channel that is clearly making lots of money. Just figure out how to fire your friends. I could do that, which is like, he's basically describing all the problems that have kept me from ever starting a business. Like, because I've thought about it a lot, and I've like helped run businesses before, and yeah, when it's all friends, it can be kind of dicey. Because if you get one friend that's slacking off and all the other friends are working their asses off, it's hard to like get on the guy because he's your buddy.
Yeah.
Don't hire friends.
Yeah.
Like, you can work with friends. Neither one of you can be the boss.
Yeah.
Like, because someone's going to screw around and take advantage of the friendship and make money off of friendship and do very little. So, yeah, I threw that on because I was like, this is something if I fall asleep to, I don't care. I didn't realize it was going to be a big crying session. I just saw Dave Landau was on it and was like, hell yeah, I love Dave Landau.
Yeah, it sucks that he came out on that episode.
Yeah, and then Tim Pool's just being a little girl.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, really? Like, you got Landau here.
Yeah.
Landau's hilarious, and he's always fun to be around. Like, I've met the guy. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're going
He
to
seemed
cry.
bummed out, to be on it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, dude, you brought me all the way here. I flew here from Michigan,
Yeah.
and this is how you're going to behave? Like, because he's like, I wasn't even going to do an episode. But, I mean, Dave came all the way here, so I figured I'd do one. It's like,
That sucks.
that's not the energy Dave was showing up for.
No.
Like, Dave was showing up to crack jokes and talk shit about, like, whatever's going on in the media right
Yeah.
now. Like, that's what he wanted to talk about. He wanted to make jokes. Like, he wanted to talk about Donald Trump serving people McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he wanted to talk about. And then your woe is me. My business is successful, but all of my employees suck.
Yeah, man.
I'm making millions of dollars a year, but I'm having IT problems, and none of my employees, who are also my friends, who I pay to live in this big ass house with me, are doing anything right. It's like, dude, so sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know the guy, but it was a lame episode.
It was a bummer, dude. Like, normally, like, his stuff's been on point for a couple of years, and I was not a fan of him until about 4 years ago. And even then, I was hesitant for like the first year because he was a big anti-gun guy, and he had some like views I didn't agree with, so I just
Mhm.
didn't watch his stuff. Because if I don't agree with you, I'm just not going to watch. I don't care if your channel exists. But then he started coming around during 2020 with all the riots and everything. He
Mhm.
was like, I need a gun. And like went from being no one should have guns, only cops should have guns, to holy shit, everyone should have a gun.
Mhm.
Go buy a gun now. Like, so I was like, all right, dude, you're speaking my language now. Like, it took really terrible turn of events, but like you're finally coming around.
Mhm.
And then he's slowly come around on other things. And then now he's a big Trump supporter. So I'm like, all right, bro, like you're finally seeing it. You're saying that he's not a racist, terrible bigot and all this other crazy crap that people are calling him, because you've now met the man, you've spent time with him, you've paid attention to what the media is doing, you've listened to him, you understand. Like, and politics isn't supposed to be about, you know, who your favorite person is just because whatever XYZ thing. It's not a popularity contest. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I'm not. Like, I don't think anyone is. That should be all it comes down to. Were you better under his administration or under this newest administration? Which one made you more successful? Which one helped you pay your bills? Which one provided a better lifestyle for you? That's how you should vote. Not, oh, well, I think this about this person, or I think this about that person. So, yeah, that's what Tim normally is talking about, is like the facts and the realities and things that are actually happening in the real world right now, things that matter. And then tonight he's just like, my successful business makes so much money and I've got a couple of problems, so I'm going to stop doing it. It's like, okay.
I was
No
reading
one feels bad for you,
I was
dude.
reading the comments on the screen, and a lot of people were saying that he just bitches and cries a lot, and
He
that he'll
does.
probably not end up canceling.
We'll see. We'll see. He'll probably stop for a little while, because he's been kind of on a weird funk lately. Because I do watch his morning stuff, and for like the last like month and a half, he's been doing a full, I guess maybe longer than that. He's doing a full morning show. So he does like a couple hours in the morning going on with whatever's happening in world events. And it's always world events. Like, it's not just like Trump, Kamala. Like, it's like, hey, this is going on in Russia. This is going on here. This is what's going on with the hurricane. Like, it's legit information. And then at night, he does the sit down talk thing. And he's always got different guests on, and it's always something different. But it's still typically world news. But then it's 5 or 6 people chiming in on it. And it's really fun conversation, because he invites a lot of people on that don't come on. Like, he invites a lot of, because he's kind of a centrist politically. Like, he sees things on either side of the aisle. But he invites people on the left on all the time, because he wants more Democrats to come on to have a conversation with. And they typically refuse. So he gets a lot of right-wing people on. So the media paints him out to be this huge right-wing conservative, which he's not. But he invites people like me on to come talk, and then we'll have a conversation, and we'll disagree or whatever. But he's typically, he can be a dick, and he can be very egotistical and like, oh, I'm right, you need to listen to me. But when you get people who are really good at doing that to him back, it turns into a better conversation because he's like, oh, okay, like I'm being a dick, and he'll kind of calm down sometimes. But his show's been really good, and it's gotten better and better over time. Like like he figured out his format. Like, oh, if I get more voices and we can all have this fun conversation, it's more entertaining, and the more voices you have, the more informed conversation you can have, and things might come up that most people don't know about, or might help you view things a little differently, or whatever. It's typically you can walk away from listening to it being both entertained and typically informed. And you'll be like, oh, okay, like, and then it might make you question your own thoughts about the way things are going. You'll be like, oh, well, should I be thinking that way? Like, am I correct? If you're an open-minded person listening to it, like I try to be. But he does complain quite a bit. But that's his whole shtick. He's like, I just want to come on and complain. Like that, I want to complain about, I just want to have a voice in the world. And everyone's allowed to. Everyone should. But tonight, dude, was just, woe is me. I'm going to cancel it all because nothing's going the way I want it to. Blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like, dude, hire people that know what they're doing. Don't hire your friends to give them a job. Like, at this point, you're now seeing that you did the right thing. You were trying to be, like, cool with your people and take care of your people, and realize they're just taking advantage of you. So at this point, just fire them. Hire people who are trained to do whatever you need done, and move on with your life. Like, so we'll see. He did cancel, but anyway, so the live show every morning he was doing, he just stopped doing that, and he went back to just doing clips. So he's still recording everything, but he's only releasing clips of it instead of it being live. And I'm like, dude, this kind of sucks. Like, I was really enjoying the whole thing. I was sticking around for the whole thing. It gets me through my morning quicker. Like, just having someone just kind of talking about what's going on, I'm becoming informed. He was talking about a lot of niche things that, like, CNN and Fox News aren't talking about. And because at halftime, I don't give a shit about what mainstream media is talking about, because it's the same talking points typically. And occasionally you'll have them disagreeing with each other. It's like, it's boring. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the party politic nonsense. I just want to hear what's happening to people in North Carolina, what's happening to people in Florida. Those are the things I care about. And he was talking about those things. But then he decided he was done. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then I guess Elon Musk came out with a decision with blocking. I've never used Twitter and I've never used X. I'm very aware of both of them, but it's never been for me. I guess there was a feature on there that if you block someone, they are blocked. Just like Instagram and everything else. If I block you, you can't see any of my posts. You can't see anything. You can click on my icon. You can see my little image. You can read my little blurb, and everything else is private. You can't see shit. Well, apparently, Elon Musk just changed it to where, or it's going to be rolling out. I don't know if it's out yet, but Tim was complaining about this a couple days ago, that apparently Elon Musk is going to change it to where even if you've blocked someone, they can still see all of your posts and all this other. They can still follow you. They can't interact with you, so they can't, like, leave a comment, but I guess they can still follow everything you're doing and still see your entire profile and all that. So it's like they can't talk to you, but they can still see everything. So now it's like a creepy stalker from the bushes kind of situation. So now they can see your stuff. And he was complaining about that. He was like, I've got stalkers, which he does legitimately have stalkers. The dude's been swatted like 18 times.
Jeez.
He had a legitimate bomb scare not long ago. Like, people truly hate him. Like, unhinged people have actually tried to, like, ruin his day. But he's like, now all these people can actually see my stuff again. Like, I don't think I'm going to be using X anymore. So he's just been kind of on this, like, negative spiral for like a week. And then tonight was like, oh, it's my last one ever. It's like, is it though? So yeah, I think he might quit for a little while. I think he'll decompress. I think he's, like, in a funk because of his coffee store. He bought this badass old antique building, and then he's had nothing but problems with it because he's not allowed to change most of any of it because it's got, like, really old elevators. Like 2 of the first 10 elevators ever are here in Arizona. I think maybe 3 of them. Like their serial numbers are like single-digit serial numbers.
Oh wow.
So he apparently has one of like the first 10 ever in this building that he bought, and he can't gut it, and he can't like really do much with it, and his building has to be handicap accessible, but there's no other way. The elevator's down, it's broken. There's a staircase to get to the second floor, and he's like, well, what if I just make the second floor employees only, no customers can go up there? And like, it doesn't matter, it has to be wheelchair accessible. He's like, so I have to fix this antique elevator that's going to cost me like $1 million to fix. Some of the parts are really hard to get. Like, I can't open a coffee store on the first floor and just like close off the second floor. Like, it's just turned into this huge hassle for 2 years. So I think he's finally given up on it. And it's like, well, you probably should have looked into that before you bought the building.
Yeah.
Like, once you
it's your
see
own
an
fault.
antique elevator, you should be like, hey, what's the deal with this elevator? Is it worth buying because of this antique elevator? And because it falls into this weird law, it's like you can't rip it out because it's one of the original ones. You can't just get rid of it because it's got historical status now. So, like, the whole thing, I was like, dude, maybe you should have looked into that. Like, that's kind of on you. Like, it sucks. Like, I feel bad for you because if you spend a ton of money on a building and then you're getting screwed because you can't do anything with it, I would be pissed. But I would, at that point, just sell the damn building. I would just find a way to get rid of the damn building and not make it my problem if you were already invested in it. But otherwise, like, dude, you should have done your due diligence. That's on the realtor who you were dealing with, or broker, or whatever you were dealing with. They should have like explained all that to you, and maybe you should have asked some questions. Like, oh, this elevator is really cool. If you know it's that old before you buy the building, you're gonna have questions.
Yeah.
Or you should. You just be like, oh, this is badass. Does it work? No. Okay, well, what's it gonna take to fix it? Before I buy this building, how expensive is this gonna be to fix?
Mm-hmm.
How big a pain is this gonna be for me for the rest of my ownership? And then just like, you know what? Never mind. I don't want it. It's a cool building. It's cool that it's got one of the original elevators. I'm out. And then you wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a lot of things he's complaining about that he brought on himself.
It's his own fault. Yeah.
He hired his friends. He bought that building without asking enough questions. Like, that's real estate 101. That's business 101.
Yeah.
Don't cry about it. Just move forward. Solve the problem. Move forward.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be firing motherfuckers in a heartbeat. I'd be like, dude, we're not growing. You're barely doing your job. I know we're friends. You can come over and skate whenever you want, but for now, you're fired.
Yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid off. And he's not doing it. But anyways, that's...
I don't know.
My podcast has no employees, so it doesn't matter. And I'm the one doing everything. So if something fails, it's on me. So I fire me, and I fired me for a couple of days because life got hectic.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's 2.5 hours of ranting and nonsensicalness. I turn my mouse back on. Mouse timed out.
Did
So-
we ever finish that list?
Which list?
The top 10 horrors?
Yeah, we got through
finished
it.
it? Okay.
Yeah, of the 2020s.
Yeah.
The scariest.
Nah.
Long Legs was number 2.
Nah.
If you think Long Legs,
I'm going to check out that devil one, though. The
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
The trailer looks really good.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
check
know
it
if
out.
it's good.
I like that guy. He plays Scarecrow's assistant. And
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
the
you
crazy
saying
guy.
that, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he's from Arkham. He's not well. You let him go. Yeah, because Two-Face had
Yeah.
him.
Oh, he was the Joker's dude. Yeah, because
Yeah, Two-Face had
he was
scooped
wearing,
him
He
up.
was wearing Rachel's name tag.
Yep. Yeah, Harvey Dent, right
Yeah.
before he becomes Two-Face,
Yeah.
when he's going on his little crazy spree.
Puts a gun to his head.
Yeah, and he was like,
Heads you live, tails you die.
yeah. Heads. Yeah, and he's like, that's so-and-so from Arkham. He's one of Joker's minions. He's a little guy, let him go. Or whatever, paraphrasing.
Introduce a little anarchy.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, that's been fun.
It's been fun.
All the boys made it. Little cameos.
Yep.
Well, from Tucson, Arizona, I'm Batman. I've been Randy.
I've been Daniel.
Have a good night. I'm Batman.